try and compromise on that and give you guys some earnest, this is a hard matchup or a more difficult matchup.
Yeah.
You'll never get the word lose out of me.
I understand, because with Olimar, it's not that he loses matchups. It's just that some matchups require more effort on the Olimar's part with less room for mistakes than the opponent.
I can agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think there's a matchup in this game that I've played or I've seen that feels incapable for Olimar, because I was actually telling Cyber this a little bit ago, or I was telling my chat that some of the people in there. It's like, if you look at, you know, all the different top Olimars, you can go, oh, well, Wolf Body's Olimar. It's like, well, look at, you know, MFA's cleaned up some really good Wolves. If you look at Rob, Shuton, I don't think ever had a Rob loss until he lost to Zamba at Smash Before, and that's already a questionable set because of underdog boost. So there's like, you can kind of pick and choose, well, that guy's really good against that one, that one's really good against that one, so clearly it's doable. It's just a matter of, does the Olimar know what they're doing, and are they playing it appropriately?
Yeah, I do actually want to say, funny enough, since you mentioned the underdog boost thing, I don't want to like talk about this too long, but I was watching that set, and honestly, underdog boost helped out Shuton more than Zamba in that set.
Yeah, I can see it, because he was getting out of down tilt things, he was getting out of little
up throw
like,
killed Rob at 120.
And no, I'm not saying that the set would have changed per se. I think Zamba's phenomenal at the Olimar matchup when I played him, but it's hard to know for sure.
Yeah.
But either way, you know,
it was just funny.
Crazy Rob and stuff. Oh, for sure. And I was watching, and I was like, I don't know how he's doing this. How's Shuton DIing like this? I didn't know this was possible.
Yeah, right.
That's for when I was watching in person.
All right.
I will say though, like, kind of to add on to what Myran said, I feel like Olimar specifically, like, anything's kind of possible because honestly, double purple can just bring back the game by itself. So, like, I don't know what else to say about that character. He struggles, then double purple happens, then he's fine.
He's got that comeback factor built into him.
Mm-hmm. No, I do agree. Like, any matchup is doable because even a matchup that feels like garbage, hey, I hit you once, you lose now.
Yeah, you just take stocks away.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so what should our tiers be called? -2.
Do you want to do them in the traditional kind of like minus and then plus stuff?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it? Okay.
I'm trying to think of funny ways to phrase it or accurate ways for all of them. I'm gonna say winnable if you're better than your opponent.
Okay, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Also, I'm gonna try and have your stream up as well. That way I can look at chat.
I use all my energies and creating creative names for like tiers. Like early this week, I made my tier list. That everyone was like, "Wow, Dabuz's tier list sucks."
Oh, that's how it be. I mean, people always got wild opinions. I just saw Sinji's matchup chart, and his matchup chart for Pac-Man, and I was like, I don't even play Pac-Man. I know this is ridiculous.
Oh, I need to see this matchup chart. Hold up.
Wait. Show it. I want to see
I can. It's on my stream, but I'll link it in Discord real quick. But I was baffled when he put Olimar as a +1 for Pac-Man, and I was like, I just don't see that.
Don't blame me for that one, because I'll be honest, I don't even play Olimar Pac-Man.
You go Rosa, right? But Shuton has an 85% win rate on T.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And T's definitely the Pac-Man who's really doing it, so it's like I don't understand where he's getting this. He beat me at MomoCon in 2019. Maybe that's what he's going on.
All right. I don't know. Anyway, let's get right into this. Oh, wait, before we start this, what did Sinji put as Rosa on his matchup chart?
He put Rosa as -0.5.
Okay, good. If it was anything that was even or better, I was gonna have to beat his ass. All right. Banjo. All right, Olimar just +1 Banjo. Everyone all in favor?
Yeah, I definitely say +1.
All right. I think we're gonna have an argument already. I think Bayonetta is even if they want to play the lamest game possible.
So that's an interesting take. I could see it because the more I fight Bayos, I seem to see them way more often these days.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I messed up on my stream.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, no worries.
All right, guys.
When you're ready.
I'm an awful streamer. I get it. Here we go. Let's try this again.
Whenever I run into Bayos these days, they feel a lot more competent at things.
Mm-hmm.
However, I haven't got to play like the best Bayos by Olimar, but I could see it being even if they play a very specific way, because she can kind of oppress Olimar well with her normal combos and advantage state.
Yeah.
But it never feels like she gets an inherent advantage. It's her more trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
I would be inclined to put it in slight winning myself. But if it was even, it wouldn't be that ridiculous. Just because I think the character does have some tools. Plus, the buffs made her killing power a lot better.
Yeah, killing power is good. Like, she has, like, her combo game ignores our whistle pretty well, to be honest. So it's like, we kind of have to take the hits, which really sucks. And really, like, there's a whole, mind game with Pigmentoss on her and whistle and her Bowser.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so annoying, and add to the fact that she's so hard to kill because she's so evasive and Olimar struggles there. It's like, yeah, we should win, but then, like, in a last hit situation, I feel like Olimar isn't good in the matchup. And that means even, like, in a last hit, like, stock situation, like, they'll take the stock first, more likely, because it's a
definitely
it gets snowballs.
Can be a little
It feels like,
bit
for
more.
me, a lot of the time, whenever I play this matchup, it feels like Olimar does really fine until she hits you once, and then it's like, then you're above Bayonetta or you're off stage against Bayo, and then it just feels kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And also, like you mentioned, it's hard to kill her sometimes. Otherwise it just feels neutral favor for, neutral Olimar's favored for sure, in my opinion.
This is something I want to ask. Do you guys know, I haven't really labbed it out, so with SDI being nerfed in this game, can you consistently get out of those witch twist combos, or how much does that impact it? Because I feel like sometimes I SDI'd, and I'm fine, and other times it feels like it does nothing.
You can reduce the damage, but you kind of have to take it as Olimar, because we're just too big and slow in the air.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Like, there are times where maybe I'll mix them up and they won't be ready for it, but there's times where I just can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that I can compromise and put it in even. I think that is fair enough, because she does have some good comeback factors, but it's never like super one-sided.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah,
and if anyone wins, it would be Olimar, so it's like...
Yeah.
No, that's how I feel with it, yeah. It's like if there was a plus 0.5, she would go there.
Yeah, I just don't feel like making a plus 0.5 right now. Unless there's going to be a lot of matchups in there.
You're good.
Alright, Bowser is even, I think. I know, it's going to sound crazy coming from me.
I think... It's weird, because, like, I think Olimar is going to tear Bowser up in most aspects of the matchup. I think the only areas where he really has an advantage are at ledge, like when Olimar's at the ledge and he's ledge trapping. And then if you somehow can't kill him, which is going to happen, he's heavy, you don't always have the right lineup. You do sometimes hit that problem with Olimar. But I think other than that, he does not have a way to deal with you. He's one of the characters that really get torn up by purples because he's so big, and it just puts him into tech situations really easily. Tough guy isn't a problem for us in almost any capacity, and I think we can get a lot of damage. And down tilt, funny enough, is really consistent at 2-framing him, which pops him up, and you might not always get a direct punish, but you're just going to kind of rinse and repeat. So I honestly think it's slight winning for Olimar. I know in the few times that I have played Leon, it hasn't felt crazy hard for Olimar, but I know you have a bit more practice in that. But I think you have to also have confidence in kind of outboxing Bowser when he's up close and recognizing if he's going to up-B and do something and trying to kind of outplay him in that context.
No, I can agree. I was playing Leon in a Smash Tour in some friendlies after we played in bracket, and I was just going Olimar, and I was like kind of cleaning house, and I was like, oh, this actually feels like fine. So I can agree. What do you think, Cyber? I still lean even, so you're deciding here.
For me, I'm kind of in the middle, because the thing is, it feels like Olimar's disadvantage is really bad in this matchup. Like, straight up, if you're at ledge, it's so hard to get out of ledge. And also, like, if he just hits you in general, it's kind of hard to get out, and he kills you very early. But the thing is also, like, neutral feels so Olimar favored that, like, and straight up, even, like, when I'm in an advantage, Bowser is, like, his disadvantage in general is really linear. Like, if he's in a juggle situation, he only has, like, a mix, like, barely any mix-ups. And also, as Myran mentioned, like, down tilt is very consistent against Bowser. Bowser also kind of gets ledge trap pretty hard. Like, the only reason why I can see it being even is because, if he gets a hit, it's so hard for Olimar to get out.
Has that super heavy factor to a T, being that character. Like, he can make that comeback, he can get a couple choice hits with rage, and he can kill you. But I think if you're able to play the matchup in like a really consistent rinse and repeat way and just go, hey, my character's better than yours, I'm gonna just keep doing it, it puts him in a really frustrating spot. But I think it's your fault.
Yeah, I think I'd be more even in that case.
Yeah, put it in even for me.
Yeah. Because I agree with you. It's like, I feel like heavyweights in general are like these characters where it's like you should be beating them easily, but people make so many mistakes in Ultimate, not because they're people, because Ultimate's like input delay and buffer and whatever makes it super easy to make mistakes, and a character like Bowser goes, oh, you accidentally press one too many jabs because of the buffer system? Well, I guess you're in the ledge now and you're losing the stock.
That's how it actually feels. It feels like I make one mistake and then I lose my stock because I'm at ledge.
Yep. One mistimed up air and then like he downers through your up air and kills the Pikmin.
Yeah.
Alright, Bowser Jr. Is this +1 or +2?
I never played this matchup.
So
I can't.
I played I don't play it that much, but I actually played against, I think Ketchup was his name, the SoCal one.
Mhm.
I played him in a money match at main stage, and I just trashed him, and it just felt so easy.
All
Like I think it is +2. Like he's got a couple tricks and he can juggle well and stuff. But Bowser Jr. having to approach, as long as you don't let him hit you with any shenanigans with the Koopa car or the down B or whatever it is, and you just keep walling him out, F smashing his side B, using purples, disrupting him, and you don't get super greedy off stage, because I think it's really easy to, like, he'll up B, you'll miss, and then he'll just, like, kind of, like, clip you with his landing hitbox when he swings. I think it's like Bowser in a lot of ways, where you just, like, hey, I'm a better character than you, but you lack that Bowser out of shield, power with the up B, the command grab. There's none of that craziness. You're just, like, you're less heavy, you don't hit as hard for everything, and you have a arguably as linear approach game. So I definitely think it's much more Olimar favored.
I've never fought Bowser Jr. I cannot say anything.
I mean, I'm fine with +2. It was either +1 or +2 in any given
Yeah,
fight.
no, it's definitely an advantage for Olimar.
All right. Now, I think I suck versus Byleth as Olimar. I think I hate this matchup and I'm trash at it. So what is your take on this matchup?
I think I don't play this matchup a lot either. My practice is really only Akashic rarely, and then when I've played Leo before in Wi-Fi or whatever. But I think I would be inclined to put it slight winning, but it could be even. And my logic is Byleth is terrible at approaching. Not a good character for it. She's not fast. They don't have, when they hit with one button, it's usually that's the button, right? It's like fair and they don't do anything else. Or dash attack and they don't do anything else. And I think because you do that, you play the matchup in a very slow way. You force them to approach. You encourage them. You use your latch damage to make them play your game. And then if you get purples, now you can kind of control the tempo a lot more. And that's what I tried to do to Leo when I was playing a Master Smash World Tour.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that makes it difficult is that the disadvantage can be rough. But I mean, that's Olimar in general.
Yeah.
And he can do it well. But you essentially don't even play the ledge game with him. He's at ledge, you go, okay, I might try and do something, but I'm probably not going to risk it. You don't want to get up B, you don't want to get clipped by an up air, and you just run away and rinse and repeat, and it makes it extremely difficult for him. I was actually talking to Last at Smash World Tour, and he told me Leo originally wasn't even going to go Byleth against me. He was just going to go Pyramith right off the bat, but I guess he was really comfortable on Town and City, which is where we started, and he was like, you know what, I'll try it. And then it worked out. He is phenomenal, that character, but I think a normal Byleth that's not Leo is going to get washed by Olimar every single time. If you just play it slow and force him to approach.
Yeah, if you want to say +1,
yeah.
I can understand that logic. And I do think the fact that, we don't want to play a ledge game really sucks, but then we're Olimar, so we don't play that in general. Fine. I don't personally know if this is right, but like I said, I have to learn this matchup now they destroyed Min Min. But, like, before I wouldn't even play this because I hate doing with Byleth and Air, so I suck at this matchup.
Also, something I just want to add one more thing about Byleth. Something I noticed is so many people just don't. They try to punish it. Like, you don't always have to punish Byleth there. Just hold shield and then worry about resetting that neutral. Get away and then do it.
Yeah, just accept it's a
You need to work on parrying that consistently, because Myran, I watched your VOD and you consistently punish it off of parries.
Yes, if you can do that, that's fantastic as well. But I say that about everything, so I try not to say it sometimes. If you can parry, yeah, you do get punishes. All right, you want to move on to Captain Falcon?
Okay, Falcon. I mean, I think Falcon's either even or our favor. I kind of lean towards our favor. Like, even though I lost Nick C in this matchup before, I'm just like, yeah, I kind of just gotta play it.
I actually think I would lean towards even myself.
Wow.
I have a phenomenal track record versus Fatality and every other Falcon I fight, but I think it's one of those, you blow him up, he blows you up, and it's just who gets it first, who utilizes it properly, and who presses that. Because you both have, somewhat questionable disadvantages. Yeah, it can be hard to intercept Falcon, but you throw out a down air, you kind of cover the ledge, it lingers, hits him. If he reads a whistle, it's you're probably losing your stock, right? On his juggle scenarios. So it feels very back and forth, and that's why I'm inclined to say even, because he also has the speed that just lets him kind of play that back and forth in neutral, so he's not having to always hard commit.
Yeah, and I will say, landing versus him, bro, he up smashes and, it actually kills us so early, but, it actually, outranges our landing options, basically, so it's so weird to not be able to just swing with, a falling aerial safely versus a non-destroying character. And also, sometimes Pikmin, gets stuck in, weird spots, and the side B, hits the Pikmin, we can't punish it because of the lag or the distance or whatever.
Yep.
So, he can kind of, do certain options and not get punished as much as he should. And honestly, even, edge guarding him is really hard because just up B's so big that,
Yeah, and his up B's also...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on,
like
Cyber.
for me, it feels like unless you have a yellow, it's hard to edge guard. And with yellows, it doesn't feel that hard a lot of the time. Because even if his snap is really good, a lot of the time yellow just covers that space really well.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Okay. Still, that's like, you mess up, it's very bad. It's, you have to be very precise with it. But alright.
Okay.
Crom. Now, I think we lose the Crom slightly, but I think Crom just kind of, if he wants to just jump around swinging, we just have to accept he's going to outswing us, and he's so fast at Pigmatoss. Like, it doesn't do enough to discourage him from just jumping around swinging and then just killing us with, like, anything at the ledge, like 80, like jab, forward smash, jab, back air, you name it, we just die.
So, I've gotten really good at this matchup over the course of quarantine when I spent a lot of Wi-Fi, and I know even now when I fight Rivers, he tries it and it just loses really bad every time. And I think he opts to go Diddy. What I find about Prom is that yeah, he can press those buttons, but similar to like a character like Roy, his grounded buttons are not good enough. Yeah, landing up air, landing fair, those are hard. But the moment he jabs your shield, he's getting punished unless he immediately goes into shield, and Chroms almost never do that. So purples are definitely be your friend here. I think yellows are also really nice because it helps you intercept him with your own range, using a forward air, using an up air, whatever, kind of catching with that massive hitbox. But it's just kind of understanding he hits me and I have to respect that aerial. I have to do that. You know, if I can't parry it and then try and jab or something, and that's fine. And almost like I was saying with Byleth, right, where like when they'll nair on your shield, your priority is to not always directly punish some, you know, crazy shield pressure. It's to reset, and I think you can do that because he doesn't have a projectile. You know, he does have to approach, so you can throw Pigman, he has to kill them, you get purples, and then you change up your gameplay. And he actually has a really exploitable recovery. The Aethers, his and Ike's, when they go to the ledge, unless they do it, I think, perfectly spacing or really low to the ground, or really like below ledge so they're barely snapping, or barely grabbing ledge, you just F smash when they rise up to the sword, and it's guaranteed death. And if they go low, and you think they're going to do it, you can just hit them with a down air, it's another free punish. I think even is where I would put it. I think he has really amazing kill power. It's consistent across the board, right? No sour spots, fantastic. But I think Olimar can exploit his weaknesses better than some other characters. And because he doesn't have the best shield pressure on the ground, that's where his openings become. I think if you just let him jump around and throw aerials all the time, it's great. But because his aerials aren't like a cloud back air, right? Where it's like this horizontal line, but it's more like I have to swing on top of you. I think that kind of makes it a bit more doable. Okay. Yeah. But,
what do you think, Cyber?
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle between both of you, because the thing is, what I noticed was it's definitely harder than Roy. Like, because the thing is, him being able to space really matters in this matchup, because a lot of the time he can kind of just poke at you safely, and he just outranges like what you have to do, and then you're out of shields really bad. But it does seem like whenever I land a hit, he's like the perfect weight and like fall speed where he's just like combo food. And also, like Myra mentioned, when he goes off stage, he just dies.
And
like,
I actually made a mistake. I thought his jab was safer. His jab's -10. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, no, I forward air Chroma shield every time.
So if you're ready for a jab and they always jab after they do it, you know, you're going to get it. Down tilt's definitely safe, but it's like, what is he doing after? And that's where the mix-up comes in with it. So I think it's, like Cyber was saying, where it's doable, but he also is exploitable as well.
All right.
Like, I'm in the middle for both. But yeah, a lot of the time, just kind of like, if you hit Chrom, he can kind of just die. Like, that's like one of his biggest issues. Like, Olimar does cover his recovery really well. It's just the thing is, neutral is definitely Chrom favored.
Yeah, and I feel like in disadvantage, like, there's a lot of situations where you can just punish our pressure with up B out of shield if we're not perfect with it. So it's like having a consistent, like, you messed up any shield pressure even slightly, I hate with it up B, means even when we're trying to space him out and, like, you know, abuse his hitboxes by, like, being better than him at spacing, he can just say, I'm gonna block, and, free punish now. So, I don't know, I still lean towards slight losing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to put it there, that's fine.
And I think Roy kind of, and you say it yourself, like, Cyber, it's like an easier criminal always. Sure, some of his bullshit is bullshit, and it's hard to discard, but, like, this matchup just feels very, if anything,
the sour spots are really detrimental.
The sour spots help so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I was playing Cola in a lot of friendlies. I was kind of washed for a while in friendlies in Smash World Tour, and near the tail end of friendlies, I started figuring out how to fight him in particular, and like his super fast Roy. And I was actually going back and forth. I was like, this is actually fine.
It's funny when I was playing Cola as well, some in Smash World Tour, the qualifiers, right? And he was rotating between his characters, and his Roy and Chrom were giving me some trouble in the friendlies. But then I remember when we played in bracket there, he went Chrom against me, and then I just washed it, and then he went back to Cloud. But also playing with Mugen, you know, those hyper-aggressive Georgia Roys, like, they have it, and they get on you. Like, Roy can kill anyone. It makes it almost matchup irrelevant. But, like, if you can even space decently ruin those sour spots and then exploit him. And if you know how to intercept his recovery, because it is awkward, but you can do it. Olimar has the hitboxes. I definitely think it is so much more doable. And you just exploit his own weaknesses in that. And we've seen that whenever Roy's end up losing, it's because they can't get that kind of cheesiness that they have built into their character.
Yeah, he does
so
get a little bit of cheese, like consistently.
It's an easier matchup than Chrom as
And
well.
something I also noticed when I was like I'm trying to implement this more into my gameplay as well, but what I noticed was when I have a purple and Roy's off stage, if I toss the purple and then just kind of chase it, you can kind of just react to whatever Roy's doing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, his options are so limited that he just dies.
Yep.
That's definitely true.
All right, Cloud. Okay, there's
I think
no
it's
way. This is an even matchup, right?
No, I would compromise and say slight losing.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
it feels
doable.
weird.
It's so doable. Like, it's not like we get destroyed by anything. It's just that in general we're working a little harder because we have to get the parries going to get the punishes. We have to like not drop our combos and our edge guards. Like a lot of it's not even him outclassing us, more so than we have to be a bit more on point with our execution. But like if we're on point with execution, it's honestly fine. It's just the days when you're not like timing the parries, when you're not like spacing the edge guards well, it feels awful.
I think the thing with Cloud is that like his job is so easy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no effort in back airing because it's -3, it's huge range, it intercepts you a lot, and it just, like you're saying, it puts that burden of execution on you. And we can do it. We can intercept and we can, pressure in a way that he can't always be out of shielded. But it is so much more like you better be on your A game right here if you want to try and win this.
Okay, yeah.
And it does do it. So I would definitely agree with that. It feels a lot like Chrom in that sense, where if you do your thing, he's dead. And if you don't, then you're gonna get slapped up probably.
It's fine.
What I will say
like
also about Cloud.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. What I will say also about Cloud is the thing is, it feels like a lot of the time, it feels stage dependent, because on some stages I just don't know how to fight him because he then just limit camps me and I don't know what to do. Like on the other stages, like honestly, a few more flatter stages, it feels like I can kind of just like, it still feels like you have to be more precise and everything, but like it's basically you have to mix up parries, mix up punishes, like etc. You have to be on point pretty much the entire time, otherwise you can. Yeah.
Interesting problem. See, I tend to never run into those like really defensive limit camping Clouds. I usually get the ones that are just I'm mashing on him 24/7. I'm trying to exude my pressure and just kind of keep him in the corner, keep him in a bad spot. But I feel like if he's limit camping, you get purples, you're now a better character.
I should try doing that then.
Just hey, come at me. Yeah, you have 15 seconds to limit. I have infinite 3 purples. You're gonna lose. And that's my thought. But yeah, no, slight losing is definitely
no. It definitely feels like losing.
All right, I feel like Corrin's. I can see even just because Corrin's not the great character, but I feel like it's the same thing honestly as like Cloud or Chrom, where it's like if our execution is on point, then things are fine. But if our execution is not on point with a lot of low punishes or whatever, because you have to deal with just autopilot mash sword buttons type of thing, especially if you want to play super lane with platforms, it's like a pain in the ass, and you're gonna lose if you're not playing well. Whereas
I'm actually inclined to disagree with that somewhat, and I think a big part of that, I would say even for this, but I think the big thing that makes a difference is Corrin lacks the mobility of a Chrom and Cloud.
That's
like
fair,
she can pressure, but it's not rushing you down. That Fair, that Nair, those are annoying to deal with. But what are they doing after? Fair is the safest thing, but it's slow. Nair's -7, so it's a kind of, are they attacking after? They're attacking after you can Fair. They don't have a fast option. Pin, thankfully, trades with your F smash, right? So you can kind of play that mid-range neutral, and if you're doing walking F smashes, especially with something like a yellow, and you think they're going to pin, if it hits, you get pinned to the ground, it hits them, it breaks. It's actually something I used to do in Smash 4 too to deal with it. They're hurt, and I think what keeps Corrin relevant is that crazy advantage state, the powerful juggles, the huge up air just to kind of keep you there. But we can edgeguard Corrin very well now that our down air is a transcendent hitbox. You can intercept that. Purples will shut him down a lot as well because they don't cover like a 45 degree, or not like a 40, like a 30 degree angle in front of them as well as some of their characters, because they're not forward pressuring all the time with that. They're usually going like pin into you or run up grab, or they have to land directly on top of you like a forward air or a neutral air. And I think that helps keep it relevant because I think the neutral is more Olimar favored, edge guarding is more Olimar favored, but their raw advantage state or how long they maintain that, like the jungle scenarios, tend to go more towards Corrin.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't have that much experience in the matchup, and yeah, no, I do think that lack of speed is going to be a big problem.
Yeah, I played the matchup like legit once, but I did feel like a lot of the time her mobility really held her back a lot of the time.
Yeah, like she's not a good character. Like if she was a good character, this matchup would be awful. But since she's not a good character, it's like whatever.
It's because she doesn't have one button that she can just spam all the time. It's not like Smash 4 where it's just like pin. It's like you do those things, you're gonna get punished. You know, the Chroms and the Clouders, they'll happily jump back air, jump up air, whatever it is, over and over and over.
All right, now we got Daisy. So I've played this matchup a lot with player 4. I know you were playing him as well, and I'm pretty confident we lose this matchup because I feel like this one of those matchups where you think, oh yeah, we just kind of abused, you know, Pikmin toss, outrange her with aerials. If she's jumping and floating, we can just hit her because she's like, you know, in the air. But then like, she can drift back and kind of evade a lot of our aerials with her raw air speed and like her good whiff punishing. She's also one of those characters where people who play this character tend to be really good at parrying because she has to be good at doing like parry back air, parry down tilt. So it ends up being if you try spacing a lot on Daisy with like forward airs, back airs, whatever, good ones are going to parry you and mess you up. Or like dash back, pull a turnip, and yeah, we can throw Pikmin at the turnip, but she can like throw like turnips between our Pikmin tosses, like the right angles. Even if it's like just blocking Pikmin, she might be able to kill like a purple with that, and it's really annoying. And when it comes to the ledge, it's like you would think we can kind of bully with the ledge, but she's really good at forcing trades that are her favorite because of kill power at the ledge. And I feel like it's hard for us to ledge trap her because like once again, her air mobility, her drifting, her like nice hitboxes that can like kind of contest our aerials. And also she has enough ledge mix-ups that like if we smash, for example, she can punch through them, but she can also like just side B past us or like jump over, floating hard there when she's floating. And just too many places where we can't hit her in the air properly. So I feel like we end up having to take a lot of guesses that don't feel good for us.
I would argue even, and I think Daisy and Peach as a character tend to give your style of Olimar more problems. Something I like to think of, obviously, purples shut her down very hard. 2 to 3 purples. I think 3 purples can have its weaknesses, but against someone like Peach, you just, they can't do anything. I was actually fighting a Peach player the other day in my local, and I got 3 purples, and like, I was just constantly spacing them right, and it felt like when Peach is, you know, doing those float cancel bears on your shield, I was like, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. But what I want to say was Shuton, for example, is amazing at this matchup because he's such a strong call-out player in terms of anti-air game. I remember watching his set at, he beat Mute's set Frostbite 2020, I think it was. And I think it was pretty solidly, if I recall. I know he's got a positive set count versus Sumeki as well. And even I have a pretty solid set count against the different Peaches as well. I think I was 2-3 with Samsora or something in the past. I've beaten, I think I'm positive on Mute's. And it's just, you have to be able to intercept them. And it's like you said, where they can kind of drift back and make you whiff and stuff like that. But it's almost like, well, instead of going for anti-air fairs all the time, what if you just walk forward F smash? Because they usually do those lower hovers. Yellows are phenomenal for this. And I think the goal is, as soon as possible, get those purples. You know, get your other Pikmin out of there, however you have to do it, latch them onto her.
Yeah. You need purples, whatever. 100%.
And then if you can even get a slight read on their rhythm of when they're going to drop the float to try and grab or run in, or if they're going to do anything like that, you can just eat them up. Because one good grab, one good combo, you want to put them at disadvantage, then you start getting a lineup. And I think this matchup feels very Captain Falcon-esque, where it's like, they touch you, it's really destructive. Although I do think Whistle gives you a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, we can whistle a lot of setups, honestly.
Because she doesn't have a ton of multi-hits either. But it's like, just don't find yourself locked in shield next to her. Get out of there, get your distance, and make her approach. And she's actually not the fastest. And I think that lack of speed helps you get in there. And it's just kind of a matter of who's able to play their game better, and whichever one stops it more. I also played a bit with
I like Katu's logic in my chat. He says -2 with no purples, even with 1 purple, +2 with double purple. You know, honestly, because I feel like you do need the purple. You do need the purple.
Change. Yeah, but I don't think it's hard to get at least 1 purple. I think you should be able to keep that in most cases.
I will get a purple.
Something I also want to say. Something also that I want to say is yellows are super important against her because the thing is, like, without yellows, she can straight up just kind of like you can't really like do. She can kind of just spam, yeah. Like you pretty much need to like. I think it's like losing, by the way, because like you mentioned, Dabuz, it feels kind of like she can just like she can float at that diagonal that like Olimar can't really cover that well, and then she can weave in and out of that range as well.
I do want to ask. And this isn't to say you have to change how you're doing it. Do you guys feel, because you both have a very similar Olimar style, and it's very kind of like, almost like I'm there to stop what they're doing, and you guys press your advantage. But since you're not more of the aggro style of Olimar, do you think that maybe influences some of the matchups and makes certain characteristics that you run into a bit more difficult for you?
Of course,
I was about to say.
But, I mean, obviously, like, playstyles do matter a lot, but, like, for me, for example, I try to push advantage with Olimar when I can. Like, you'll see me play some matchups And
No,
I'll
yeah.
hit the opponent, and I'll actually go in and be a little bit more aggressive and like try to get things going. But
I think what I meant was more so in neutral, because I don't want to say you sit there and camp all day. No, that's definitely not true at all. But it's more like there are other Olimar players. I think MFA and Shuton are the two that come to mind for me that are so like, I'm gonna meet you in the middle, and I'm gonna go. I don't need to run. Here's my call out on that. They're so phenomenal at recognizing that general spacing, and that's where I tend to like lean towards the other side, because I am also a bit more aggressive in certain ways.
Yeah. See, I feel like that style is also like more like you're innately taking like higher risks, like you're just kind of guessing more and isn't as reliable. I also want to say, honestly, you've had like a nice spectrum of Olimar like playstyles. You're obviously the most like aggressive when to call people out, and I think I'm obviously the most defensive. I'm more just want to play back and stay safe. But I think Cyber is more in the middle of us, because I remember talking to Cyber like the Pokemon training match before fighting Moxie, and he was like, "Yeah, you do this and that," and I was like, "Huh, I don't really play like this aggressive like towards PT in some spots, like just swinging at the character."
That's fair.
So I feel like Cyber is more in the middle of both of us. I guess slightly leaning towards my playstyle, but enough that it's like a good representation of the different styles.
Sure.
What I also want to say was for Paisley specifically, I talked to Mutis about this at main stage, because before then I didn't really have Peach experience, and he also did mention that he thinks this matchup is even, because a lot of the time Olimar can kind of just like, with yellows and purple, she can't really do much about it, like Myra mentioned. Like, straight up, it just seems like if Olimar gets purple, she gets destroyed. Otherwise, like, if you have one purple, it feels evenish. And then if you don't, like Klaatu pretty much said, if you don't have a purple, she just spams and you can't do anything.
If you're able to do your job, Olimar is going to be fine. If for some reason you can't, then you're going to get bodied. That's Olimar in a nutshell, to be honest. But this might be a matchup where it feels more exacerbated in certain ways.
Yeah. I just feel like, I mean, I still just lean towards slight losing. I just think at the end of the day, we are taking a bit more of a risk to get hits going sometimes when she's floating and baiting us out.
Do you think general set counts, like the way other Olimar players or Olimar players in general tend to do in a matchup, will influence that matchup ratio, or do you think it's just those players are just kind of better in the moment, so they're really pushing it farther?
I mean, there's a lot of factors in it. So it's weird, because obviously match counts like are relevant. You have to look at those, but you know, we can also be people and say, oh yeah, match counts are relevant. But it's not everything, right? Like, I do acknowledge that, you know, Shuton, you have good records versus Peach. I don't have a bad record versus Peach as Olimar. I think I know I play Rosa. It's just one of those, like, I play against Peach a lot in friendlies, and when I play it, I always feel like, yeah, this is fine, but, like, I'm more likely to lose off something dumb happening, or just, like, the Peach player playing well, than I am to win off me playing well. Like, if I'm playing well and the Peach is playing well, I feel like the Peach is more likely to win. But it's kind of the opposite of most Olimar matchups, where I feel like if the Peach is playing poorly than Olimar is, the Olimar is going to win because purple-yellow just devastates her if she's not, like, playing around them well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that's fine. If that's the general methodology, I totally understand it.
Yeah. No, I can see Peach being in both even and slight losing. I'm just like in the middle with her.
Just for anyone who's new, to clarify, this isn't like you need to go counter pick. It's like Olimar can do it just fine. It's just you might have to work a bit harder than the Peach at any given moment.
Yeah, like it could be even. I wouldn't like if you said it was even Cyber, I'd be like, all right, fine, even. I wouldn't really care.
Yeah.
No need to linger. We got it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Dark Pit. I think Olimar slightly wins.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Move. Okay. Next up, I think we can move on. I don't think we have to talk about the characters.
Yeah. There's not much there. No.
All right. Slight winner, Diddy Kong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve, especially when they're really good with their movement with the pop and cancels a banana. But like a lot of matchups, especially though with him, purples just trash him. Also, he just can struggle to approach, especially if you play at a distance where Monkey Flip tends to lose that kind of wow factor. You stay in F smash, fair range, whatever, and you call him out, and you just take it slow. You don't hit his shield when he has banana, and you just chip him down. It really makes it difficult for him.
And honestly, his damage output is like not good enough to like body. Like most characters, like if Olimar trouble, do a lot of damage or kill very early. But like with Diddy Kong, it's kind of like you can just get hit by him and it's fine. And being able to get hit by a character as Olimar means you can generally reset the neutral. And if you can play the neutral with Olimar after losing it, like that's a huge deal in every matchup for him where that happens.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
All right. So, okay, cool. Now Donkey Kong is weird because on paper it sounds like it's +1, I think. But then I play the matchup and I'm like, all right. But like late dash attack is actually so fucked for Olimar. And like up B is so annoying because like if you like throw a Pikmin toss, right? Like, jump Pikmin toss and uses up B. He actually will just hit your landing really reliably, but not like max range. He also doesn't care about Pikmin toss damage much because he's so heavy, and like he can just kind of absorb the hits from Pikmin toss damage and say, yeah, I don't care. Along with the fact that his backyard guard is actually really hard for us to deal with. Like it's one of those matchups where both characters fuck each other up, but I think he has like random ways to get in that are good versus our Pigmentoss, like, and chip people out.
I think it is slight winning for Olimar. What you said is true. Donkey Kong does have some frustrating stuff. The dash attack on shield can be really annoying because you can't up smash it. Although if your back is facing Donkey Kong and you shield, you should be able to up smash, I think, every time.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't
yeah,
think
you have to watch out for
late
back here. Is it? Because it says -14 on ultimate frame data.
Keep in mind that's for first frame. If the fourth
Is that
frame of
first
dash
frame?
attack hits our shield, that'd be safe for up smash. And like late
Oh,
hit
so
dash
it's like
attack.
Pikachu dash attack. Okay.
Basically, also fun note,
Um,
late hit dash attack is actually completely even on shield.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like as long as the hang is
but-
like early dash attack, it's like he can actually use it to get close, and we can clank it with a forward smash and get punished.
Yeah.
But we have to call that out.
What is he? But he doesn't really have the speed to punish a max range F smash if he's doing that. Like, how is he going to be approaching you if you're F smashing? He can't jump in and just fall on you.
Yeah, if he jumps in and falls on us with like a back air, that's safe, and it's like his back
That
air is
would-
fast and his airspeed's. He's actually a pretty fast character.
I mean, if he reads that you're going to max range F smash to call him out and he raw bears over it, I think that is a read. And I don't think that constitutes as, oh, he's just going to win an interaction, because he definitely does have that. I mean, he has his combos with his cargo throw.
Well, that's just
he's got a
one
couple
option.
down tilt shenanigans. But like Bowser, he has a really exploitable recovery, arguably easier to intercept with the down tilt when he's recovering the ledge. You can, yes, you're getting the chip damage isn't the best, but he is probably the worst combo food character in the game, maybe Ridley. And I think you can push that very hard on him. You get one up smash, you get whatever, and you just keep him there, and then you just play the runaway game, and he can approach, and that's fine. If he dash attacks your shield, sure, it's close, then you just mix it up out of that. And if he does that in unsafe spacing, you can nair it out of shield. It's going to clip him for sure. You can potentially up smash depending on where he's at, if it's stale or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, let him down tilt your shield, let him throw those attacks out, because at the end of the day, it's not doing enough for him. That down tilt's -12.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
Also, something else to mention is his down tilt 2 framing on him is like as free as Bowser. Like,
yeah.
it's insane.
you should get every time.
Yeah, and I think the only reason he stays even slightly relevant is he's got a couple buttons that let him kind of, bully you sometimes. But one, he can be susceptible to whistle outside of up B, which if he up Bs you, it's literally a hard read. But you can whistle those, and I think it's just him doing that kind of super heavy, I hit you a couple times and you're dead. I personally don't think that's enough to constitute him winning the matchup a majority, because you can just run away. And then when he overextends, he approaches, you maybe grab him, you do whatever. Because keep in mind, your grab's intangible. It's not going to worry about dying on startup. So if he does something really bad, or if you know he's going to shield, which characters tend to do a lot of the time after they whiff or after they hit your shield, you punish him.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Cyber? Because I can see the +1. I've played it a bit. I just don't. It's one of those matchups where it's like we can't make mistakes, and I feel like he's fast enough that like when we jump versus DK, and like we don't hit him, we're gonna get punished. So we're very forcibly very grounded and very linear to not make any mistakes.
And that's basically how it feels like for me a lot of the time. It's like, it feels like Bowser-esque, where like so the thing is like, it's basically with him, it's like you mentioned, late hit dash attack, it's really, really annoying to deal with, because it just goes even on shield and then he closes distance, and Olimar can't really get him out then. And also, a lot of the time, it's like, he edge guards Olimar so well with back air, like you mentioned as well. Juggle situations against him are also really hard because of, like, invulnerability on his head. So a lot of the time, it's like, it feels like it's on me to mix up a lot, like basically outplay him in that situation in order to land. And also, again, it's a super heavy factor. If he hits you twice, you die. But like, neutral is like obviously slight Olimar favor, but like, holy hell, if he hits you, it feels even.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you guys want to put it even,
it's really random, but he feels even.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be, and like I can see it being +1, but I'm just looking at this and going, man, all the stuff we do to him, and then it just doesn't matter because he found one time when we did a bad forward smash or a bad jump or a bad toss, or like we missed a dash tech situation.
By that logic, wouldn't he be doing that to everyone though?
I don't think other characters. No, because I play Rosa as well, and like Rosa is a character where it's like you can't make mistakes that easily versus DKs. Where it's like I'm playing Rosa and I just want space mouth starbits and big aerials. I can jump and float, and I can avoid his landing punishes because I'm drifting in the air. I have big, safe hitboxes, like I have no commitment to them. I have a juggle game that's not like, hit him with a combo and then look hard for juggle. Like Rosa's like, oh yeah, I just juggle with up airs and not much you can do about it. Oh, I just edge guard, low commitment, pretty reliable. Oh, let's trap him, low commitment, easy like setups. Like, or I play Palutena. And it's like, yeah, you can grab me and kill me, but I can keep him at disadvantage more aggressively than Olimar can. Or Sora, kind of same thing. Like, Olimar doesn't keep people in disadvantage like aggressively he just does a lot of quick burst damage with combos and like tech chase setups and stuff. But then like people kind of like have a chance to reset neutral because his like juggling and ledge trapping is like not that strong. And I think DK is a character where it's like if you have to keep him in disadvantage more aggressively to abuse his size. Otherwise, he resets neutral, takes some damage, and that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Klaatu says if DK's even, Bowser's losing. Nah, Klaatu. They're both even.
No, they feel. It feels like they're good at different things.
I honestly think the only reason Bowser stays even is because you can't mash on his shield.
Exactly.
Because his up being.
Straight
but I
up.
think I don't know what Klaatu's general opinions are, and I'm sure other Olimars have different ones. But like, I think that's what helps keep him kind of from getting rolled over, and that's one of the reasons that I thought Olimar would beat DK slightly winning. Is because you can roll over Donkey. He doesn't have that. You hit my shield, I'm exploding with something now. But I understand you guys kind of arguments for it being even and stuff like that.
Sure, we just have 0.5s. Maybe we should have 0.5s.
No, I think Olimar is like one of those characters where 0.5s matter.
I don't even. You're gonna get into like a semantic thing, like you said.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
okay,
it could
right.
be 0.5, it could be 0.5, and it's like at the end of the day, if you're playing Olimar and you're playing good, you're probably gonna win. If you outplay your opponent, you're probably gonna win. But if you're bad, you mess up, you make mistakes, well, you're gonna get screwed over for it.
All right. Duck Hunt. That's just +1, right? I don't think.
Dr. Mario.
Duck.
Yeah, that's +1. Just camp him. Just do not
just camp him, be annoying. Like we'll get to this conversation when we get to Mario. But when it comes to Doc, it's just whatever.
Yeah, he just lacks the ability to really press those buttons on you all the time.
Same with Duck Hunt. We just kind of camp him.
I think it's +1 as well.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit tricky.
I also think
it's
+1.
All right, Falco. So I've played against Tony a lot. I lean even or +1, but I actually lean +1 because if you know how to deal with his down B, which like when he does the down B, right, all you have to do is toss a Pikmin, you just dash forward, and you can actually just run up and like dash grab and like up down B and take like, and the Pikmin won't even hit you actually. If you just toss like purple and run forward, Pikmin goes over you. So you don't even take that reflect hit, and then he has so much trouble with arrow neutral. Lasers get stopped by Pikmin, it's really annoying for him, and a lot of his combos, Pikmin mess up his combos. Like if he like grabs us with a Pikmin on him, and he just like up throw, the Pikmin blocks the up throw laser, so he can't combo. Or like if he does like a nair, the Pikmin will lag the nair and you can't get a combo anymore. And it's the fact that Olimar is small and floaty and lightweight, we can STI a lot of his combos or whistle them.
Yeah.
And like he kind of just has to like read our whistles and disadvantage options, and he has to read our Pikmin toss to reflect that times where we're not going to bait it and punish.
He also dies extremely easy. He's so light. I agree with literally everything you said. I think it's +1. As long as you don't get blown up in disadvantage, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, even though stage doesn't feel that scary versus Falco, a lot of the time, like, if there are no walls, it doesn't feel that bad to recover against them.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Fox. So I think Fox is losing for us. I think this is one of those matchups that just straight up, like, it's fine. It's just a losing matchup. Nothing special about it, but he's just too fast and too good at applying safe pressure. And we always have to respect the fact that he might just use down B if we get a little bit too like antsy with using any smashes. Along with the fact that you can always just laser camp and get free damage, and we don't have an answer from just laser camping for like a little bit.
I disagree. I think it's even. I think you give him too much credit. His only safe buttons are neutral air and back air. Maybe down air, actually. I don't know the exact data.
It's not safe. Down air's not safe at all.
None of his grounded options are safe. The moment he jabs, and they almost always attack, they can mix up the grab. Sure, that's part of just shield pressure. He up tilts, he's getting punished. Down tilt, getting punished. Anything, you just blow him up. So yeah, it is kind of, if he presses buttons, it's fine. But what is he doing after he jumps away? What is he doing after, he nairs your shield? You get even the slightest understanding of that general pattern. It's not like a Cloud or a Crom where they hit you with a disjoint and then they run away. He hits you with his body and then he has to choose something. And because of that, he can die very easily. And his recovery is weirdly exploitable, but also annoying at the same time. I think it's really easy to get clipped by like an accidental B, but you can just dumpster him off stage. If you even know where he's going to be slightly, free down air, free F smash, free whatever it is. And I just think his out of shield game, with the F smash is kind of brutal. But you can box him pretty well, especially if you're pressuring from behind his shield. He doesn't have a great out of shield option against you. So you can jab behind him, you can up smash behind him. He doesn't have any true combos off the roads, really, so you're not in threat of that. You can whistle up air in this game. So there is something for him, but I think it's just as even on the Olimar scale, because you need legitimately one juicy combo, he's at kill percent. And he needs to rinse and repeat those things if you can mix up your landings, if you can go to ledge. And I just don't think his shield pressure is that free. You just have to be a little confident in calling him out or knowing what he's going to do and really paying attention to his general pressure strategy, because Fox players have a tendency to dash attack from that certain spacing. They want to get a certain type. It's like Greninjas, it's like wolves, right?
Mhm.
So you just understand when they're using that, and then you just crack them up for it.
Yeah, it's fair. I can honestly see your argument.
Also, another thing is I've been actually watching a lot of Shuton VODs. Shuton just destroys Fox. Like, it seems like a lot of the time when Fox just gets hit, Shuton just blows them up, and then they're off stage, and then they die, because Fox's recovery is not exploitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, in general, I feel like there's like a lot to watch from Shuton VODs regarding this matchup.
And Shuton is that type of playstyle, like I was saying before, MFA as well, where they're so good at that interception game. They go, you know what? I don't need to stay back and wait for you to come hit me. I'll call you out using my own pressure, kind of playing that mid-range, close range better. And I think that is an area of Olimar that maybe is not underexplored, but not recognized as often as a great way to do it. Because Olimar is that kind of, everyone's scared of him at any given moment. They know they can just die. Mm-hmm. So you can exploit that same pressure, and that's how they get these crazy back air reads when they pressure their shield or whatever it is. So I think it is kind of back and forth, maybe to like a lesser extent of something like a Wolf, who's just raw kill power plus massive hitboxes.
Thank you so much, Cable, work the tier 1 sub, by the way, man. Appreciate it so much. I can agree to even. I'm like, this is one of those matchups where I could see even in the first place, so if you guys are saying even, yeah, this is all fine. It's all just calling out his type of pressure, basically, and like, not backing off first him was what you're saying. You want to like be more aggressive towards him, like really say in his face and just say, okay, we're gonna play the mix-up game. If you hit my shield, then that's fine.
Yeah. You can't end up cornering yourself where it gets really hairy.
Okay.
That's
I can talk a lot about this matchup.
That's a
for Ganon, I can talk a lot about it.
+2.
I think it's +2. I played Rickles too much. I've genuinely played Rickles too much. It feels so hard for him. You know, straight up, the thing is, he doesn't have a good way around forward smash. He doesn't have a good way around purples. You can straight up just swing at him with yellows and purples. He straight up has to like hard call out an option twice to even get in on you, and the only thing he has is he kills you early.
The only way Ganon wins is with hard reads. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I don't play Rickles all the time, but I've played plenty of other Ganons, and it's just you stay at mid to long range, so you can react to down B, you can react to side B, and you just keep F smashing and side B, and you go, you can't do anything about this. And you respect him at the ledge, right? You don't get you respect that his up B is massive, and then it can clip you and all that, and you go, great, I have a projectile, you don't, I'm gonna win.
Man, I was playing Rickles in friendlies as Xeno, and I was actually having trouble in Olimar again, but he plays all the time, so it makes sense.
Yeah, if he's ready for it, and you're not
like pretty much I played him a lot, and like I mentioned, just it seems like Ganon just has to like guess right 3 times to even hit you. Yep. Like that's how it feels like a lot of the time. And even then, like off stage, even Olimar destroys him. Like the thing is, like you can just straight up like do anything. Like if you have a purple, he just dies. He can't do much about it.
All right,
Ganon sucks. Glad we all agree.
Yes, I mean, I didn't agree, but I'm not going to argue this because okay, whatever.
Okay.
All right, Greninja. So actually, Greninja is probably an even matchup because I think it's similar to Fox. Okay, yeah, it's actually similar to Fox, both much easier to deal with pressure.
Just a quick note, I think the big differences are Greninja's combos are a bit more robust, and that it's like Nair to imagination.
And his counter is annoying because Pigmentoss is not near as effective to him.
Yeah, counter's a little annoying. He can also do the landing like second hit bear where he F smash confirms, but Greninja lacks any out of shield game except escaping. His recovery is equally as exploitable, I would argue. And his way of pressuring, much like Fox's on the ground, is you down tilt it, you punish him. He dash attacks, you punish him. And that's something Shuton and I think myself are pretty good at. It's like, oh, you dash attack, all right, eat this back air, eat this up smash, whatever it is. So it's very much like Fox, where they just open you up real quick, trying to get an advantage, and if not, they die. He also dies very easily like Fox.
Yeah. He's also very easy.
What I noticed as well is in neutral, it's actually hard for him to hit us as well, because a lot of the time it's like, it's the Palu situation where like, the way he has to land on us is really predictable, and it allows for a lot more parries as well. And he has, like, because of his fall speed, he just gets comboed easily, but like, it's the same issue like if he touches Olimar gets blown up. So to me, it feels like it feels like whoever hits each other first.
Blues are fantastic on parrying nairs because they tank the water damage, so they won't ever die.
Oh. And no frozen. Triple purple doesn't win every matchup. Double purple wins every matchup. Triple purple is a noob
triple purple is very linear.
It's very funny though. I always go triple purple when I can because it's funny and it scares people. But if they know what to do about it, it's actually not broken.
Double purple, because you get that third color in there where you're like, I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna F smash.
Yeah. I'm gonna have white
double
Pikmin do damage. Alright, okay. There's no way Hero is not -1. There's no way.
No, it's got to be even. What are you talking about?
Bro.
All right. We should set some ground rules. Is the hero having cracked ass RNG?
The hero is having normal ass RNG, so he's gonna get his buffs without.
If it's normal RNG, I don't think it's that bad. And I play against a hero with some of the most insane RNG I've ever seen at my local. I play Marsh, right? And he's like, "That's cool. Watch this bounce 5 times in a row." I'm like, "Okay, I'll lose that, right?" But I think there are some counterplay and things to take into consideration. Oomph and Acceleratle both increase the damage he takes. So your latch damage is massive. Your combos are massive. You get a lot of early kills. Psych Up can be taken away by when he hits a Pikmin. You can block most of his spells with Pikmin on him. So there's a Pikmin latched in front, kaboom, sizz, whack, right? Those just get blown up by it. He has a lot of single hits, which makes parrying and whistle a lot more consistent. And I think if he's not zooming to recover, which they won't always, a lot of the times that they're at kind of a mid-range to the ledge, like in between the blast zone and the ledge, they'll opt to zoom or they'll opt to whoosh. I think you can intercept that with a down tilt, down air, down smash. And I think the reason that he has some advantages in this matchup, or that it would help keep it even, are that he can randomly blow you up. He's like the most exaggerated version of that. And his side B, his second charge zap, is so good at kind of just covering that. But if you incorporate a lot of verticality and opt to play the mid-range game, or not the mid-range, but like the long to mid-range game, until you get in on him and then abuse your frame data better, because I think you have better kind of like F-smash range frame data, it puts him in a bad spot. I think the only things that you have to watch out for are the bounce, maybe his F-tilt kind of just beating out whatever attack, and not getting too cheeky because of stuff like top decking a spell or something like that. But I've beaten Beast Mode Paul to the point where he literally counterpicked me with Sephiroth. I have a positive record versus Marsh. I beat almost every hero I've ever fought, if not all of them.
When I play this matchup, I play this shit, and it's like, alright, if I'm not approaching constantly, putting pressure on him constantly with Pikmin Toss and approaching, he will just get spells. Like, he will just get Accelerato, he'll get Psych Up, and I don't care if Pikmin Toss does more damage on him with, like, Psych Up, with a Oomph and Accelerato, because he's just gonna jump around and, like, pressure us super safely. We have to parry stuff. But even a lot of this stuff is safe-ish on parry if he spaces it right. And like stuff like side B is so hard for us to deal with. Him just getting like a boom is so annoying because like if we want to jump and do anything, he just dashes back, throws a spell. Oof. And bounce, oh god, she just bounced that. She said
bounces. You're working so hard to do it.
Like there's so many situations where we're working hard because we have tools to deal with him, but we're always on a timer to do something, and if we don't do anything, just the threat of bounce and Accelerato, I think those two spells are so problematic because Accelerato basically gives him a free bounce by just playing super lane, or like whatever spells he wants. Because we can't chase him jumping out the Accelerato if his control's good. We just can't. We can't jump at him or around him because they'll just punish us super easily when he has Accelerato. So there's 2 spells he gets that just makes the neutral free as hell for him. Along with the fact that like he hits hard, he kills Pikmin very easily. His like pressure is very safe unless we're perfect with our parries, even then it's not the most reliable to punish out with parry.
I wanted to ask, so you're talking about how when he has Accelerato and he can kind of maneuver around you and he's pressuring with some of those safe aerials. Mm-hmm. But what is he doing after the aerial? If it's like a dead aerial in that sense, that's a pretty big thing, I think. It's not like a character like Falcon or Roy or even Chrom or Fox who hit you and then follow up. He's usually, like, if he's back airing or forward airing, at most he's got a jab that is not very good. It comes out frame 6. It's extremely unsafe on shield. And I think that is a big factor. Like, yeah, if he has Psych Up or Oomph, I guess he could theoretically break your shield. But those are much more telegraphed, and you know, okay, I'm not just going to tank a back air with Psych Up and Oomph. You're going to roll or dodge or whatever.
The problem is he's one of those characters that can, like, hit our shield like a fair or a bear, and he can just dash back, and we can't really do anything about it. He can just shield, and we have, like, commit to a grab to punish it. Like, he can also jab, as you mentioned. Like, jab is annoying because it has enough range that's hard to punish on block, actually, especially if he mixes up 1, 2, 3. And, like, he doesn't have to do an aerial. He could just jump around us and then, like, do a side B, do a neutral B, get, like, a spell. Like, he doesn't have to commit to it. He can do Nair, and Nair is also safe. Like, he has enough range with his aerials that unless we're, like, purposely making him miss space, like, by running up to him and, like, shooting his fair point blank, like, it's so much range that it's safe, and then the mix-up game doesn't really favor us, like, give us make good openings, because there's so much range on his aerials, and we're so slow.
Okay. What do you think, Cyber?
I'll be honest, I haven't played this matchup too much, so I can't comment on it, really. So, I have to play more.
Okay, Clat2, if you're in the chat, we need your opinion now, Clat2. I'm gonna tag him real quick.
I got you.
I think coming down to it, some of the matchups we definitely had disagreements on for Dabuz and I. It's just that differing philosophy on what Olimar struggles with or how we approach it. So I can definitely see why certain ones like the hero, where for me it's like unless he's cracked out of his mind with crazy buffs or something, are going to be difficult. I think it's fine, but then you may think of it more in like, well, consistently certain things are hard to deal with, like the weight pressure and stuff. And to me, it's like that's fine. I've never worried, like, let him reset, let me get my chip damage, let me get my purples, because you can intercept. I think funny enough, as wacky as Olimar's hurt box is now these days, I think his size is still a benefit. And it can be hard to intercept. So when he does land with those areas, like you can find a way to get in there and punish after. And some of the points I was bringing up, I've spoken with Marsh, my local hero player, and gotten his take on it and things like that, and not necessarily like the matchup, but things he struggles with and stuff. And that's what I was trying to pull from as well, criminal experience. But if it ends up being slight losing, or if you want to put in question mark, because that character is literally a wild card, I don't think it would be a stretch to say no matter where you put hero on this, you can just lose. Yeah, that's just how it is.
I just think there's two ways for us to lose. We'll keep it here for now because we don't have a third person for consensus. Yeah. All right, Ices. I haven't played Ices much. I played Big D in friendlies at main stage and I was having trouble, but honestly, I felt like he just knew the matchup so much better.
I actually beat him in a money match at main stage.
Okay, yeah. So he got a chance to play matchup. So I just feel like he knew it better than me at that moment, and he was playing it better. But I feel like we should win.
I think it's a plus. I think it's a plus one.
Okay.
Camp him out. Run away. Abuse yellow range on intercepting. F smash is great. And just throw purples over Blizzard, and then they just suck unless they touch you. I mean, that's literally Ices as a character, right? It's like trying to get some crazy desync stuff.
All right, I think Ike actually might be even. I know it's crazy for
I agree.
me.
Thank you. I was ready to argue my points about Ike. I think this matchup's super even.
Yeah, Ike wins. I'll agree with that. I think he's so linear in what he does, and the buffs have helped, but he's just like, and it's easy to parry what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's similar to Chrom, where it's like if you know how to punish the Aethers when he's recovering and stuff like that, you get a free punish. You can intercept a side B with a pick toss.
No, Raven King, Ike does not win. Stop.
There's a lot. No, Ike definitely does not win Raven King. There's a lot of ways to deal with him, but he is kept relevant by the fact that he's so consistent and he kills so consistently.
And like his range is still annoying, and like, but honestly, he has so much trouble with Pigmentoss. Like, way too much trouble with Pigmentoss, more than most characters should.
Something else I noticed as well is actually, as weird as it sounds on stages with platforms, it's kind of hard for him to hit Olimar. Because the thing is, Olimar just goes under a platform, and I can't really hit him without doing like either a really committal option or kind of just like linearly going above
me.
Yeah,
like we have to commit to something
really
to hit us
falls with aerials. He never really rises with them, so you can know exactly what he's gonna do.
Yeah, honestly, Nair is super good in this matchup for us for that reason, because you can just kind of jump in him there, and like you'll call him out for like shielding and jumping at a shield, whether it's early or late, and it's pretty hard for him to punish that anyway, which is like rising there and cross him up, make him have to guess which way up B.
Yeah.
I actually love using there in some match with Olimar lately. That's a side note. Anyway, Incineroar.
Okay, I would like to point something out right here, right now. Not any Olimar I've ever talked to actually knows how to play this matchup, myself included.
You know, want to just put this in mystery then? Because I played SkyJ in this matchup. I was playing McGlitch in friendlies. I hated it. I actually hated this matchup more than Cloud.
Or in bracket, also in Port Party, and a money match at main stage or whatever. And the entire time I'm thinking, it's not, man, I can't do it. It's like, I don't know what to do. He's playing at a frequency that I can't even intercept. And there wasn't like, man, I'm getting outplayed. I'm just like, I need to sit down with this man and grind for like 3 hours to break down. Because Incineroar is not a good character. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. He is definitely flawed to all hell.
Incineroar is underrated, but anyway, going on.
But yeah, I would put him in that question mark tier because I think there's just not enough good Incineroars, and the fact that SkyJ's from Mexico, we don't play him. Yeah. There's not any powerful Mexican Olimars to really reference in that sense. So he's going in with the I'm that crazy low tier super heavy advantage. Olimar is prone to that nonsense factor.
Yeah,
I think it's going to naturally skew it towards its advantage, but I think there's a lot more development to be made in that matchup.
That's fair. This matchup's very underdeveloped. I just play this matchup and I go, man, like, he's one of those characters where Pigmentoss actively doesn't even hurt him because he just revenges. It's like, Greninja, we can bait out the counters, but we also have to deal with the fact that we just don't want to approach him, but in order to bait out his, like, revenges and punishments, get close, and, like, we're so slow and our grab's so slow and he has a character with a lot of fast buttons with decent range. It's not exactly a big hitbox. He's not exactly the easiest character to combo because he's not massive. He has the combo breakdown beat. It's like, it ends up being very frustrating because it's like we don't want to fight him, but we have to fight him at some point. We're also just too slow to run away from him, and almost everyone just runs away from him is his big problem. Olimar not be able to just should run forever is such an annoying factor though, because then he just gets close and we can't escape the pressure.
I can talk a little bit about this matchup, by the way. I do have a bit of experience in Instant. So, so something specific to know is while Revenge does help him a lot with this because of Pikmin Toss, the thing is also, and this is actually really beneficial, if he revenges a Pikmin, actually hitting a Pikmin removes the revenge. So what happens is you can kind of just, like, play the really, like, max space poke at him the entire time until he finally, like, swings, and if there's a Pikmin on him, it just goes away. He is combo food as well, and Olimar can take advantage of his recovery too. Something specifically that I noticed was, I don't know if you guys know about this, but F Smash beats side B.
Yes.
I know some people didn't know that. So that helps a lot too. It feels like it is one of those matches where it's like, be careful when he gets revenge up, and you do have to play around revenge. But like, Olimar does have tools to deal with it really well, and it feels like you have to play like. It feels like you have to play kind of like max space distance away the entire time. Otherwise, if you mess up, he can just hit you for 70 sometimes.
I'm in a weird spot.
It feels like a +1 to me, not +2, but yeah.
I'm in a weird spot with this because I've beaten every single Incineroar I've ever played except SkyJ. I've beaten MRW, I've beaten Magister, I've beaten my local Incineroar player. Like, I've beaten them all. I don't know if I've ever dropped a set to any of them except maybe like on Wi-Fi, right? SkyJ's the only one I couldn't beat. And he just plays in such a unique way, and he's a very knowledgeable player about his character that he had a lot of tricks up his sleeve. And I'm just like, there's not enough time here for me to figure this out in the moment, and your character is more built for that with the way this matchup may function normally. And that's why I'm in a weird spot, because like, I've bodied all the other Incineroars, but he just put me into like a midlife crisis, and that's why I don't feel comfortable doing it. But I would be remiss if I told you Incineroar beats Olimar.
I think it's +1. I think it's +1 Olimar, to be honest.
If you want to put +1, I can see it. I think, you know, SkyJ just has my number, or maybe has your number, because we're not as equipped for his shenanigans, Dabuz. I think that's how I view that.
I could see it being +2 once Olimar's learned the matchup more. It just feels like +1 right now.
I just don't agree about it. I voted here, so okay.
One thing I do want to add before we move on real quick is Akashic. I was talking to her, and she mentioned she's like, a big problem with Incineroars. Players tend to start and stop their gameplay a lot. They'll be like, oh, I don't want to get revenge. They'll just stand there and do nothing. And that's something that I probably do and you do as well, where it's like, instead of starting and stopping, you maybe just perfectly transition to something else. So you run at them like you're going to swing, and then you just move and jump over and back air them and punish that. And you don't start and stop, but you just kind of like a fish in water dodging rocks. You go, okay, you're going to do that. Now let me quickly dodge and not have to like come up with a new solution because you were worried. And I think that segmenting of our gameplay definitely gives him more of an advantage. But yeah, slight winning is not unreasonable.
All right. You know, maybe I'm just bad versus heavyweight to Olimar. In fact, I probably am. Anyway, moving on. Inkling.
Inkling,
Yep.
Slight winning.
All right. I don't want to say +2 for Isabelle because pocketing Pikmin can actually be annoying, but otherwise it's super free.
I think
Agreed.
Isabelle is more annoying than Villager. I'll say that. But yeah, I definitely think it is slight winning.
Yeah, I think Villagers. We can just put the Villagers +1 right now anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Joker.
Even
I'm
baby.
gonna stay quiet. I want to hear you guys' discussion.
So no, I actually can see even even though I
good.
hate playing this matchup, right? Because I just am not as good with Olimar's advantage state as I need to be in a lot of situations. But like, I can legitimately look at this and say, yeah, I can see how it's even.
He has, you know, good mobility, and Arsene is a great comeback factor, especially in his advantage state. But his shield pressure is lacking.
Yeah, like he hits our shield and it's like whatever.
Unless it's like a perfectly spaced like back air or nair or some nonsense. If he dash attacks, punish. If he, you know, landing fair or something, punish. Pig toss is a good mad thing. You made out a Rebel's Guard, free punish. You can burn through Arsene really quick.
Down tilde is up B, it's super easy.
Yeah, Lord knows he goes into Arsene. He's up into the ledge. He should die or take a ton of damage.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have an amazing kill throw either. Yeah. It's just there are really good ways to exploit him. Whistle's really good at clipping through random hits. Because he usually approaches up airs from a diagonal, and since it's kind of a line like that, you can kind of almost cross it up and dodge it sometimes. So I definitely feel even. It's just he's a really strong character, and he can press his advantage really well, and I think that helps keep him relevant.
Yeah.
On top of his natural speed and mix-up, but it doesn't feel super lopsided.
Yeah, like we're end up chasing him a lot and whiffing a lot versus him because he's so fast. But like that's all it is. We're just gonna end up getting hit by a lot of like things because we whiffed, or like he just uses his speed to pick a mix-up.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever. That's honestly, I'd rather fight Joker than Fox.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, definitely an even.
All right.
That's a +2, baby.
Yeah,
Drop
yeah,
it.
yeah. +2, easy.
Yup.
Not good.
All right. Gerg wants us to do Pac-Man because he has to leave. So you know, Gerg. All right, I got you. Pac-Man. I'm not even gonna give my opinion on this. I'll be real with y'all because I fight Pac-Man. I just picked Rosalina. I don't even attempt to play or learn the Olimar Pac-Man matchup.
I have not fought Pac-Man, so I cannot say anything about this matchup.
So Myran, it's up to you.
I've been making strides in this matchup. However, I as a player tend to fall prey to certain strategies, maybe more weakness ones. That being said, I think even is somewhere where I would put it. I think there's a good track record of Olimar's versus Pac-Man's.
You mean
I've
shoot
done
on
pretty
versus
well.
T?
Not just that, but I think in other locals, maybe offline settings, aside from me losing to Synergy because I kept approaching, I think Olimar has good tools to do it. Pac-Man can't approach very well.
Yeah.
He can do it with his items,
And
or
we
he can
can
maybe try to
kill
do some area
Hydrant
stuff.
very safely.
Oh yeah, if you're unaware, if he drops Hydrant and you fresh purple up air, it just sends it right back at him in the air.
Yep, we can also
so
do
there's ways
purple Pikmin toss, can't punish it, forward smash breaks it.
And you just make him play your game because his projectiles are great, but Pikmin are a lot more dynamic in that you can throw them at a varying amount of heights. You can punish him for killing them. You can do a lot, especially if you grab his item. And I think, you just have to play a specific way and be ready and be flexible to what he's doing. Because if you try and play hyper aggressive or maybe hyper defensive, he'll run over you. But it feels very back and forth and even in that regard.
I will say that he can throw. We can't throw Pikmin versus projectiles because the projectiles tend to hit Pikmin and keep going anyway. Like in Orange, for example, if you throw a Pikmin at it, it'll kill the
better
Pikmin.
for that.
I'm just saying
Smash.
because of that, Galaga, for example, or Key or Bell, there's a lot of situations where he has a projectile and we throw a Pikmin and we lose that interaction. And that's the one big problem I have in the matchup is that between Olimar and Trouble approaching and the projectile just being a safe, consistent way to pressure us and get an approach going.
I would argue though that you don't or watch your side Bs or don't use them from close to mid-range.
just
or jump when you do. If you're long range or you have reactable time, go for it. But up close, you really shouldn't be because not only that, but his forward is a great interception tool as well.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to respect his ability to control that space around him. But I don't think it's a very lopsided one way or another. I think it could go either way depending on the player. That's
fair. No, yeah, I see. Shootdown's record is good. I mean, I don't even want to learn the matchup. I just don't want to deal with it, so I can't say much.
Does Rosa do well against Pac-Man?
Oh yeah, Rosa wins for sure. When I lost to T, I didn't know how to deal with Bell when he helped, and I found that afterwards. I just gotta spam down tilts and Starbits, and he can't do anything about it. And I was like, but Rosa just beats Pac-Man, straight up. So I don't care for Olimar Pac-Man.
Okay, that makes sense.
Kazuya.
I can't tell with Kazuya.
Shuton switches off Olimar for this matchup.
I think Shuton's a baby. This is not a bad matchup.
What do you mean it isn't a bad match? No.
No. Kazuya is the most polarizing Shoto in that, yes, he can just kill you, but he can do that to literally anybody. I have fought, granted, I haven't fought every Kazuya out there, but most of the time with Kazuya, you just force him to approach. He cannot do that well. He is extremely exploitable because of his poor mobility, his terrible aerial, startup game with the poor jump squat, and you just force him to come in. You side B, you F smash, you stay at that mid range so you don't get accidentally command grabbed. You respect his rage drive or whatever it's called a little bit, and you just chip it down with side B. You treat it like kind of how you would Arsene, but he cannot approach efficiently. It's not like Terry, where he can dash attack and crack shoot or whatever and come in and hit you with something like that. He has to gradually walk forward and press buttons. And the nice thing about Olimar's attacks are, he has some invincibility on certain attacks, right? Olimar's hits are so big.
All of his attacks?
Yeah, Olimar's F Smash and Side B are so good at hitting areas where he's not necessarily invincible, where it covers so much area that you can keep him out. I've fought Kazuya's, and I've been blown up because of rage drive and all that. And then I'll fight him in the same set, and I'll just 3-stock them. Because their character's so exploitable. And I think he is the most polarizing of all the Shotos. He lacks flexibility in his gameplay. He has to play a certain way, and I think if you exploit that with your own projectiles in your walling game, it makes it so much harder for him. I would compromise on even, but I would be
I can compromise on even, because I think this matchup is losing on us. I feel because it's one of those matchups where it's all those things he can't approach, blah, blah, blah. But then he hits us once and we're fucking dead. And we're so slow we can't run away from him easily. He doesn't care about whistle too much. And honestly, all the invincibility is so annoying because he can just invincibility through Pikmin Toss. He can invincibility and like Lightning Punch through forward smash. He can use the grab armor through forward smash. He can just like shoot a laser if we get like a little bit too like passive with throwing Pikmin and being passive just hits us with laser. He can reflect Pikmin back us with the forward like the whatever X
the
kick
kick.
that reflects stuff at us.
Mhm.
Dude, him reflecting a purple Pikmin at us, but that's so annoying because it kills the Pikmin, hits us, and puts us in a shitty spot. And like we're so slow that he can actually just juggle us and chase us like when we're off stage easily enough. And I just play this shit and I'm like, yeah, we can do this in this back because we can combo him super hard. But like, holy shit, do we have to not make any mistakes? Because even when making him approach, he has so many obnoxious ways to just directly counter our anti-approach tools. Like not even like soft counter, he just fucking blows us up for throwing a Pikmin or a forward smash at the wrong time.
Something I wanna add to that real quick because you were talking about the advantage state. Kazuya is actually slower running and almost tied with Olimar in airspeed, so he cannot necessarily get the jump on you a lot of the time. So you can play that we're gonna move in unison game. Think about if you play like the Olimar did or something, right? You're perfect able to like keep up, but there's never any time where he's really exceeding you. And I think you're right. If you're next to Kazuya, God help you, because that's what he does. That's what you don't want to do at Shotos. But I think you can keep him out and you respect it and you stay at a range where it's more reactable. But he's a very polarizing character. But I don't think he has necessarily ways to force you to do what he wants because he can't get in like that. The only reason that I would argue that if you put it as even is because he just kills you. And he's like the Shoto and DLC mindsets perfectly combined.
Yeah.
And that is threatening for sure. But I don't think it's super dominant in that matchup. But I would love to hear your thoughts, Cyber.
See, with Kazuya, I kind of agree with Myran where it feels like I can't figure. Well, I agree with both of you. It feels like one game you destroy him, and the next game he just destroys you. Like he has a lot of really good tools to get in on Olimar, like the Buzz Stun. Like that stupid axe kick thing is so annoying. But like, I feel like I should just say even because it feels like Olimar can't keep him out to a degree, and it feels like once you get the first stock, it's really hard for him to come back. But like I can't tell with this character.
I do agree it's a first stock matchup. I agree with you on that one. Because like neither character kills each other well. Like it's weird saying Kazuya doesn't kill Olimar well, but it's like if he doesn't get like the 0 death early, and we get that stock lead, yes, we are gonna chip him out pretty freely with lots of damage.
Yeah, it feels. Yeah, it genuinely just feels like a first stock matchup. That's all.
And I would argue that is even. It's like who does it right. It could go either way. It's not one way or another.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's first like matchup. I mean, even matchup, but yeah, we're just going even. All right,
Okay.
Ken. I think Ken is fine. Like even-ish. I don't.
Even's where I put it too. I think he's
even
better compared to Ryu. I think he'll do better than Ryu because he has better speed,
Mhm.
and that lets him get in a bit easier. But yeah, I would put even.
Like I don't.
I have
like
a lot to say
Ken,
about Ryu too, by the way.
So I won't
As
play
well
that
as
matchup. Funny enough, but yeah. All right, Diddy.
Wait,
That's
can
a
we
plus
just
two.
get to Ryu right now and just get him over with because
Can we get
they're
him out of the way?
very
Sure.
similar.
All right, we can just get Ryu.
Do you want to put Ryu in? He's to the right, third row from or fourth row from the top, or from the bottom. sorry.
One more down. Yeah, there we go.
Do you want to put him in +1 or do you want to put him in even?
I lean +1.
I would put him in +1.
Okay, at least for me, it feels like it's between +1 and even. Like I played Iken a lot,
Mhm.
and it feels like with that matchup, like especially with the fireball buff, it's really, really annoying a lot of the time. Because the thing is, it feels like with him, fireball's really good in this matchup because the thing is, it can just go through Pikmin and hit us. That
Mhm.
smash helps a lot, but the thing is, then it just turns into a mix-up game because Ryu can just nair over it and then hit you. His less trapping is really good. He's one of those. It feels like it's probably winning, but at the same time, it's like if you mess up, you die.
Yeah.
It feels like it's one of those matchups.
That's Shoto's, honestly,
Yeah.
and like it doesn't matter if they're an even winning or not. Like you just don't want to be near them. And you could even say the same about a character like Incineroar or Byleth or Ices. Like they have that great comeback factor. I think Ryu, because he lacks the speed, while he does have the Tatsumaki and the Red Hadouken, is super good at kind of just clipping you or going through non-F smash attacks. Unless you perfectly space like purple side B. It can be frustrating, but I think
Something to note as well. Specifically for Ryu, my fireballs are good at this matchup. It just beats purple side B. You have to F smash it or shield it, but shielding it's really risky now because you can just run up and do something.
Well, I said certain spacing because does it beat it
Yeah.
because it clips the purple side B before the hitboxes clank, or does it like that's what I'm saying?
No, it just beats it now.
Really? Okay. Well, then I guess
Oh.
F smash all day. I haven't. Why does it beat it?
I think it was the buff before it didn't.
Yeah, it's a damage buff in the side. Because the red fireball and the regular fireball, like, they beat certain moves now because of the damage buff on it.
F Smash still beats it, but I noticed that like purple was either it was inconsistent, I was just unlucky, or it just beat it.
Honestly, that would make me think it's an even matchup because that's like a big deal.
I think
in
it's
matchup. That's a big deal.
You could put it even. The thing about purple side B that makes it lose sometimes is because the hitbox is only on a portion of the Pikmin and the hurtbox is larger. If the Pikmin is in its animation and it's not the hitbox is on the backside, it just gets hit first and it cancels side B, and that's oftentimes why you'll see it lose.
Myran,
so the hitbox
Myran. You're a nerd. I just want to say that.
It's my job. So that could be why it's losing. But no, that's a fair point. I mean, it will lose a lot. It loses a lot.
As I said, I need to test it more, but it seemed like it was losing every time. I'll just test it again. It's fine.
No, I can do my region. Shotos are not fun to fight no matter how you square it, so I think...
Yeah. Let's just get to the last one now.
Yeah.
This is the worst one.
Yeah.
Slight losing square. Slight losing.
Yeah, this one just... I remember my first time playing against a good Terrier's Olimar, and I just wanted to bang my head against the corner of a wall. This guy was just doing crack shoots and rolling jab and just mashing shit.
You literally feel like you're fighting a kindergartner.
Yeah, I feel like I'm fighting a kindergartner, but it's the most hard matchup of my life. I would put this -1 over Cloud easily.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the easiest to let spiral out of all those slight losings. I think he's like if you took like the easiness, right, of like Cloud back air and you put it to an entire character.
Yep. And also, if you don't kill him, obviously his stuff super. Since Olimar's trouble killing a lot of times, if he doesn't get like the mid% kills, and he dies super early, like he's go meter. Oh fuck my life.
Go mad.
I will say though, I feel like his up B, while good, is more easily exploited than the other Shotos. I feel like if you really know what you're doing, you intercept it.
Yeah, that's fair.
What I noticed specifically was if you do the jump, like the landing down air one, it clips him, it hits him. Pretty much every time.
You can also, if you're really ballsy, you can try desync down smashing with the yellow because that'll definitely kill if he doesn't have a jump. Because he's gonna send to that perfect downward angle. But yeah, I don't think any of us are gonna disagree. He mashes the best. His combos are amazing. He's got the spot dodge attack, and go meter's insane, and he has the mobility. He's like if you took the Ryu and Ken and you were like you're fast and you hit hard and you have zone break specials. And it's really just frustrating. So I think that is definitely a fair matchup. It's not unwinnable by any means. Purples do tear him up quite a bit because he has to approach in that way. And 45-degree angles tend to do really well against him. And while crack shooting stuff's good, it's not like down smash cancel Tatsumaki, which flies across the screen at you.
Something else I've noticed as well is when he has a Pikmin on him and he crack shoots, it's like he just like stands in place for like half a second so you can react. It's a double-edged sword because half the time you just release your shield expecting to parry it and then you get hit, or you can just react to it and shield in time.
I was warming up with Vendetta at Smash Bros. Tour recently because I thought I had to play riddles. And he was giving me Terry practice. He was helping explain. He's like, oh yeah, if he crack shoots here, you can probably back air. If he does this, you can probably do this. So I think there is that maybe unfamiliarity or like lack of confidence we have in punishing certain things, but there is that opening. You just have to be mindful about it. You can't up smash the side B because it's like Donkey Kong dash attack. Your Pikmin disintegrates, right? But there are some openings, but it's definitely a tough match for Olimar no matter how you square it.
All right.
Yes.
Honestly, I could almost I could see this being a -2 matchup, to be quite frank.
I think it's Olimar's worst matchup. It's not -2, but I think it's Olimar's worst matchup.
I think it's a -2 online for sure, but offline I think it's a -1. I think it's much more doable because you can play that reactionary game.
I'm just saying it's possible. Anyway, DDD.
It's +2. I think it's +2.
+2? I think +1.
I think it's +1.
All right, let's just go +1 then.
Okay.
Right? I mean, we agree it's winning. We don't have to say much about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Rule.
Even
I feel +1. I'm thinking +1.
Yeah.
Ever since I learned how to fight K. Rool in order to fight Kirby Kid, I feel a lot more comfortable against certain shenanigans he has. And if you're ready for it, it's hard because purple aerials break crown armor 100% of the time.
Yep, yeah, that's a big deal. It's such a scary matchup because it's a heavyweight zoner. Like, if we lose the lead, it's so problematic. But like, he has to work hard because his zoning is annoying, but we just outdamage it.
You can F smash, so if you're at proper spacing, you can F smash his crown to cancel it and then go get him before it comes back and would even refresh the hitbox. Another thing too, you can do this with any color, but yellows are fantastic at intercepting his up B. You just go out there, put that downer out there, and go, hey, we're gonna trade. over and over and over again. You also, if you want to, back air forward air, great because it's horizontal. But I like down air; it's nice, consistent. Let me just throw this out, and now you're back in a bad situation.
I feel like the down air is kind of risky though, right? Because if you mistime it, it true combos an up air.
Actually, I whistled that up air one time, so I think it might be percent dependent.
Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
But it might also be like, not like the perfect fast fall or whatever.
K-Rool is not the best, so definitely a winning matchup.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Kirby +1. Moving on.
Plus
Yes.
one.
Yep.
Yeah. Just don't let him get your inhale.
I'm gonna stay quiet. I want to hear this discussion.
I mean, I think this is Olimar's worst matchup.
I would love to hear why you think that.
I just don't think we have an answer. Not like the neutral air, right? But then even when we get past his neutral air nonsense, his projectile game is so annoying because Bomb can block Pikmin and create this kind of little wall that doesn't let us just throw Pikmin toss easily. And we're too slow to pick it up and use it against Link. Not that we can, we can't explode it. Boomerang is just annoying because it catches us jumping, landing, and like he's heavy, so he's hard to kill. He kills very early with his attacks, does lots of damage. He has lots of range on his sword attacks, so we can't really punish without parries. And like, it just feels like we can't camp him out, which is fine. I just suck at approaching, but it feels like we can't approach him because Nair is just such a good, like, do everything tool at that range of like Olimar get close and like hit you at. Along the fact that combos into stuff and we just can't go off the ledge or anything well easily. It just feels like everything in this matchup is atrocious in every way. Because no matter what we do, he has a direct fucking answer. And then we die at fucking 80.
I think it's even, but I could see it being slight losing. That being said, I think Olimar, yeah, you can get run over sometimes if you're not careful or if he clips you because he does have some pretty big range. Pick Latch is good because it does get the damage. And even though Bomb blocks it, Bomb doesn't like make an entire wall. It usually covers right in front of him or something like that, or when he throws it'll bounce like once or something. And you can also block his bomb stuff with that and make it difficult for him. Boomerang, while annoying, I mean, you just have to dodge it or use a purple or an F smash to go through it. I do think purples are good at catching him because while Nair's fantastic, he doesn't cover his head the best with a lot of moves, and that's an exploitable point. Yellows are great at kind of matching his range. I don't know exactly how it compares, but from my personal experience and what I do have in this matchup, it's a lot of like you can intercept him with your own yellows. I've beaten Link down air with yellow up air. I've beaten Link up air with yellow down air, I'm pretty sure as well. And I would imagine Nair and stuff are no different. At the ledge, I don't even want to fuck with him. His rising forward air, reverse up B from the ledge are great kind of reversal options. So it's almost like Violet's in a way where you simply respect what he can do there. Maybe go for a little cheeky stuff if you really know what he'll do or if you can intercept him. But I think you have to be content in that back and forth intercepting him game and let him nair your shield. It's not, it's a safe move, but it comes out frame 7. And his grounded options aren't very fast. So you just respect up close and you keep intercepting and keep doing it over and over. And that, you could argue that you're going to lose that war, I guess, in terms of like you're both playing the same because he'll kill you with straight hits easier. But I think I think you have to have the confidence to intercept him in this. If you're letting him just press nair and bear and whatever for free, and you're not dodging his projectiles well, I think you're going to get run over. But from my experience with the links I've played, and I have not played like T from Japan or anything like that, I beat them generally. I do well against them. There's a lot to learn in that matchup. I think Shuton's got a positive record on T as well.
I thought he lost to T last time they played.
It's even. It's 3-3.
3-3? Okay. So it feels very back and forth to me. It doesn't feel like Link does one thing or another. Because while he does have good buttons, he doesn't have insane airspeed that would go with that range. So he can't just like constantly rush you down. And I think that makes it a bit more bearable. So I would say even, but if you guys don't think that, I totally understand. I know Cyber said he's going to be quiet, but I would love to hear what he has to say. He has had a very up and down relationship with this matchup from what I understand.
Oh, yes, I have.
So please, no, I would love to hear what are your thoughts on it, Cyber, because me and Dabuz seem to be very polar opposites.
I used to be with Dabuz, and I was like, this matchup is absolute garbage. Like, Nair felt so hard to deal with. Bomb felt annoying to deal with, because sometimes it just clips you through the Pikmin. Boomerang. Bomb just, like, sometimes blocks the Pikmin, and, like, if you hit it, sometimes it just explodes, and it was really annoying.
Yeah, it's the red,
Ledge is really annoying against Link. Nair is just annoying in general. But then as I played it more, I kind of realized, like, wait, a lot of the time you can actually just kind of, like... First of all, if you hold shield against Link, his ground buttons, like Myran mentioned, they're not actually that good, so you can't really get much off of it. The best he gets is a grab, and Link's grab is not the best thing in the world. Like, whatever, I got grabbed. What I noticed as well was, like, Smash is surprisingly decent as a whiff punish tool, depending on, like, where he's spaced as well. And also just kind of like running under him and up airing, depending on like on reaction if he full hops as well. I know that one like doesn't really matter that much. It's only on full hops, but I noticed that helped as well. Yellows are super helpful in this matchup because it feels like kind of like Peach in a way where it's like you have to like space yellows then hit him in order to really do anything. But like basically you can't let him get close range because if he does, he just kind of destroys you. But like you have at least shield and I bet he gets as a grab. Bomb I noticed was something I forgot to mention. His recovery is actually really exploitable if you have purples. Because the thing is, he can't really do bomb recoveries at that point. Because the thing is, purple just covers bomb pickup. So a lot of the time he's forced to go. He's either forced to jump bomb pull, which you can like cover that on reaction a lot of the time, or he's forced to go low and go for the up B. And that's something I found really helped me a lot in this matchup. And what I know, and finally, it's like I also found pivot grabs helped me a lot as well.
I would like to hear your thought on this, Cyber, since you seem to have a lot of experience in it as well. I would imagine stages with platforms or generally larger stages. I'm specifically thinking like town, maybe FD in this specific case.
Taking the town.
Distance. Do you not like town? The platform stages
down.
would be nice because then he can't land as freely with his aerials. It can kind of intercept his stuff and give you a bit more coverage in that sense. I think that would be good as well. But where do you think on this table, -2, -1 even, where do you think it falls? Because I'm even, he's -2, -1. I think it's a fair middle ground. It definitely is not some free matchup by any means, but I think -1 is.
What I know specifically is hard with Link is if you're cornered, it's so bad. Like forward air covers too much space, nair covers too much space. So like your goal is basically don't get cornered, because if you get cornered, you just kind of get blown up.
Yeah.
So you have to hold center stage, otherwise you just lose. The
sure.
bomb is really good at like slowly forcing you to the corner.
Like I said, I've learned a lot in this. I value your inputs. I would agree with -1 if you want to compromise on that one, Dabuz.
I still think
I can see -2. It just right now it feels like a -1.
All right, -1 it is then. As long as you don't think it's honestly, as long as you don't think it's even, because
it's not even. Hell no, it's not even.
Okay, fine.
It is.
That's all I need to hear.
All right. Power to you, boys. Let's move on. Little Mac.
Alright, yeah, +1, cool. Look, I've actually played against Lucario a lot. This is one of those characters where it's like, I feel like Olimar is so difficulty killing. Should be a huge problem. But
okay, yeah.
I think Lucario is just such a, like, below average character in his neutral and everything. And, like, one of his biggest attributes is Aura Sphere, which is kind of go, hey, Pikmin Toss. And, like, he ends up, even with, like, Aura, having to outplay us in neutral to get a kill. Which is so hard for the character because his neutral is so booty cheeks.
Yes.
I would agree with +1 as well. Actually, I was playing Armadillo a lot at the East North American qualifier, and just wow, that character is not good against Olimar. Like if he gets the aura, yeah, you can die, but you can intercept his recovery so easily with smash attacks. It's out of this world. If you even have the slightest idea where he's going, he's getting smashed up. You kill relatively early against him. Just watch out for a couple cheeky setups. Respect certain things, and you can just beat him. And if you lose, I mean, like some of the other characters in this tier, we find you just die sometimes.
Yep. All right.
Cool. Lucas.
Oh, we also can two-frame it very easily, which is a big deal. Like down.
Yes, it's so easy. It's ridiculous.
All right.
I would +1 for Lucas as well.
Yeah,
I agree. +1.
All right, Lucina. This feels like one of the most even matchups of like all matchups.
Agreed.
It's a slobber knocker.
If there was like the definition of even. If there was like the definition of even, put her there.
Yeah, honestly.
You respect some of her buttons, the down air on shield, the up B out of shield, maybe running F tilt and stuff like that. Be careful when you're off stage, but you just can make it a nightmare for her to fight you in neutral.
Yeah, but she can also play so lame and just like run away with like fully spaced nairs and fairs. Like, yeah. You have to call out to get punishes or like accept your small Pikmin damage. So, you don't actually have to fight her until she wants to fight you. But she's not good at fighting you. So it's like kind of recognizing when she's going to go in versus play lame and bait you when you're going in.
And because she doesn't have any way to deal damage except fighting you, that gives you that edge there where it's like, okay, we can take it slow, but you'll have to play my game eventually. We'll have to interact. So yeah, very, very even, goes back and forth. Just kind of whoever's playing better at that moment's going to win.
Yeah. I will say that it's hard to keep her in disadvantage overall because she just kind of swings in your direction. So you kind of have to just win neutral and get like your big damage off neutral wins as opposed to advantage state. Where she can like really easily push advantage, but she doesn't get damage off neutral. She gets damage.
I will say though that I think something that we can utilize really well against her that may not be as applicable against some of the other sorties are using Pikmin to lag her attacks when she's landing on you. Throw a Pikmin on,
Yep,
and since she's not like gunning you down like Roy, there's going to be more time to intercept. And you might have to narrow out a shield sometimes to risk a Pikmin not dying or something like that. But you can really like, oh, you're not fast, and I'm going to punish you for that. And that makes it a lot easier to deal with than someone like Roy, who's, you know, able to run you down, but you just beat him for a different reason, or you deal with him for a different reason.
I think this is also a very stage-dependent matchup. Like, if we're fighting her in Smashville, I feel like it's very hard. Fighting her on, like, say, like, PS2 though, or Town, I really like it.
The platform on Smashville gives that perfect runoff, diagonal approach that Olimar tends to struggle with, as well as a way to kind of get out of there and drop down with down airs.
And it's just
Callus, don't ever go this stage. Don't ever play Callus in general, but never go Callus Lucina. You're not going to win.
Yeah, Callus with Olimar is an auto lose no matter what. There is no stage I play more on and lose like so. Like if I'm playing Olimar in a set, that stage is being banned every time.
Funny enough, the next character you can leave Callus open against.
All right, so I hate Luigi, but I think on paper he should be an even matchup. I just don't ever want to play this matchup because I can +2 him with Rose.
I would argue even or +1. It could go either way. I think it's weird because like there's not a lot of amazing Luigis out there. They're very centralized on the planet. But from my
experience, just say his name. Only elegance goes with Luigi. We get it.
From my experience, it is, does Luigi kill you off like 1 to 2 interactions? No, you lose. He loses. Yep. I haven't really, I guess, played elegant as of late, but when I played him, it felt very back foot. It's like avoid his stuff, play to your strengths, utilize stage advantage well, don't hit his shield foolishly, and make him approach. And it feels back and forth because of that. He doesn't have any insane mobility to really pressure you. His shield pressure is very linear, and you just respect his little cheesy nonsense, and don't go to FD, and you're probably going to be fine.
Yep, yeah. I actually don't mind fighting Luigi on FD that much. I'd rather fight him on FD than, like, Smashville, probably.
Really? Actually, I would not.
Actually, I'm not sure about that, but I don't mind them on FD, because I think just run away and camp the corner until we take
I can do FD if I want, but the reason I say it is I will literally set it on a platform and just let him clip me with random hits till I'm at 30% so he can't start it.
Exactly, yeah. That's what you gotta do versus Luigi's
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I pretty much just platform camp him until he hits me twice.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, FD is not bad. The only stage that I would say always ban is Yoshi's.
Yes.
Yep, you have to.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, right. I will say Callus actually does feel pretty decent against Luigi because the side platforms he doesn't really have a good way to.
He doesn't like ride walls either in a way that's very detrimental. So there's no the Callus downsides aren't really applicable against him, and that's not a stage where I'm gonna probably take him to Callus, but I'll probably put my bans to somewhere where I'm feeling less comfortable.
Yeah. All right, Mario. Now I know Myran made us talk about Mario after Riptide.
Oh man.
And I think. Like, this matchup, we just lose. We just straight up lose to Mario.
I agree.
I wish we would have had this talk next month after I spend 2 weeks in NorCal, and I've grinded this matchup till the cows come home. But I will say, I do think slightly losing is fair right now. I think there's developments that can be done, but oh boy, Mario is stressful.
Do we have to just outplay him in so many ways to still lose because he hit us with one rising up air and our whistle doesn't do shit versus him comboing us?
What I do appreciate, maybe compared to some of the other characters in that tier right there, is that he doesn't have a lot of his attacks are not crazy strong, so you can make up the deficit from certain things.
Yeah,
you can intercept him as well. I think his up B also falls in a category similar to Roy's, where it's really awkward to punish it at first, but if you know how to do it, it's a free down air. Maybe not always a spike, but it's going to put him back out there. Purples are fantastic against him as well. If you can even get a slight opening on him, he doesn't have a great button to deal with him unless he wants to get on the ground and down smash. Down air is also really good at landing on him or near him, especially if platforms involved. So you can keep it like a relevant matchup where it's like, I'm not getting a train ran over me or something like that. But it's like, you have to be very careful. Disadvantage can be brutal. And if your parries are not clean, his shield pressure is so hard to deal with.
Yeah, like your parries have to be on point. He has a lot of timing mix-ups because like his aerials come out fast, and he has multiple that are fast. And he can do things like down air mix up your parry, or just tomahawk grab you and mess you up.
Yeah,
His shield pressure on Olimar is just too good, honestly. Like,
yeah. All right.
I don't know what else to say. It just he hits me and I die.
And then honestly, like his reflector is so annoying because it's not the best one. But like it does what it needs to do, which is stop us from just playing lame with Pikmin toss all day.
I would honestly feel like him and Peach are very similar, where it's like if you can keep them out, if you're doing your job, if you get your purples, you're gonna be fine. But when they get on top and they have a very generous time doing that, it's gonna be really difficult. And that's why I think in the future with more practice from Olimar's or whatever, I think it could change, but it is definitely like you're going to be working very hard in this match.
All right, Marth. I mean, I actually don't think he's easier than Lucina. In fact, sometimes it feels harder because I feel like Olimar plays at Marth's tipper range naturally. But I would just put him next to Lucina.
If you want to put him next to Lucina, that's fine. I would honestly argue it would be slight winning because from my experience with Marth and whatever there are of them, it feels like, similar to Roy, the sour spots are really brutal. Yeah, you get tippered sometimes, but you can make that adjustment as an Olimar to not play tipper range. You can go, let's get up closer, let's go far away. I don't want to play that. It's think of like how you fight Corrin, right? You're like, I don't want to deal with tipper pin, so we're just not going to play that. And I think you would have to do that against Marth because when he doesn't sweet spot, he doesn't kill as nearly as easily. So I think
I will say he can kill Pikmin very easily with like tipper fair though. And we can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a slouch by any means. I just think it, from my experience, a little bit easier than Lucina because certain things like Sour Spot down air aren't as brutal. Any Sour Spot tilts are going to kill as easily. And what I find with Lucina is those stray back airs, those stray F tilts or up tilts, those are what kill me. But if those aren't tipper with him, I'm living a lot longer. And as Olimar lives, I get rage, I get purples, I come back. That's a new opportunity for me to just kill you off one interaction.
See, I find what happens is since we're slower than him, he can actually space for like the tippers, especially when he's in advantage, without much difficulty. It's like we're not fast enough to like make him whiff his tippers reliably because we're so slow.
Even's a fair place to put him. I think that's pretty understandable. So I'm not gonna.
Any disagreements on anything, Cyber?
No, pretty much everything you said.
All right, Mega Man, we win, right?
I think that's +1, yeah.
Yep. All right.
So
Meta Knight, I think we win. I think people suck versus this character, and I don't care about this character.
I don't know how it is post buff. I don't know how much changed. I think it helped him, like back air stronger and stuff now, which is going to help him fight Olimar. My Meta Knight experience is not the most robust. I think it's usually I play like AC from SoCal.
Yeah.
And I just dog on him in money matches over and over and over. And he's getting better at it, but it's not easy. But I think Olimar does win. I would be, unless the Meta Knight is really good at getting elite and then dare camping for 8 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever, or somehow hitting every disadvantage play and killing me off back airs and laddering me, which I've never fought a Meta Knight who could do that consistently. I think he's got a really hard time getting in because you just tear him up. His grounded approach options are not safe. So I would feel comfortable.
To be honest, I just noticed that it's hard for him to get in on Olimar in general.
Yeah, and Pick Lag destroys dash attack.
Yeah.
His approach options in general are just way too linear.
Yeah. And I don't think his combo game does much to us. And like honestly, if he's edge guarding us with like back air, we're dying regardless of the buff or not.
Okay.
All right. Mewtwo, I don't like this. I mean, I lost to Wadi in this match multiple times. I know. Did you beat Wadi last time you played him? Right?
I did beat Wadi. Yeah.
I feel like it's an even match. I feel like it's one of those matchups where it's just like both characters mess each other up bad.
I think the difference is I could see it being even. I feel like I would be inclined to maybe do slight winning. I think the thing compared from Olimar to Mewtwo in my experience is Olimar's setups are a lot easier to hit. His combos feel a lot truer for the really big ones. Like, obviously, Mewtwo has stuff that works. But a lot of times when I was fighting at least Wadi recently or stuff like that, it was like I would get caught from overextending or maybe thinking he was vulnerable and trying to hit him or thinking Olimar would be fast enough. But when I would constantly reset and stuff, you can block Shadow Ball. His tilts aren't the best. He gets hit by literally everything. It's actually crazy. I killed him with an up smash at like 70-something on bad DI because you weren't expecting it.
I find that Nair is very annoying, by the way, from him because like Nair just punches through off smashes, like it's multi-hit lingering, sets up combos.
Where you're going to want to be ready to intercept him with your own aerials. Your sword aerials are going to be really good at calling up. You don't always want to just keep it smash attack related when you're in that mid range. You know, don't necessarily play the 45-degree angle because his forward air is perfect at covering that. But maybe be ready to be like, okay, I need to kind of jump and call you out as you're rising because he usually rising nairs.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I do think, I would lean toward Olimar slight win because I think we can also intercept his recovery pretty easily. You can two-frame him generously. And I think the kill power is a lot more skewed in Olimar's favor. I think more straight hits from Olimar are going to kill earlier than Mewtwo's.
What do you think, Cyber?
Yeah, Cyber. What do
as every time, it goes me, then you, then Myran, then you.
I'm the middle guy usually. It's really funny. But I will say Mewtwo, I haven't really fought. I can't really talk too much about him.
If you want to put him in even, and we'll call it just even matchup. It's kind of, it could go one way or another, but it's not. It's definitely not. Mewtwo does not win.
100%. No, there's no reason to lose. All right. I don't fucking know Brawler even.
I have minimal experience, but I think neutral or even would be fine.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot of the similar style of move to Mario, but he lacks that like Mario pressure. He doesn't back air the same way and stuff. And I think that some of those tools being lost, his up Bs can be more easily intercepted in some cases.
Yeah.
No reflector is really nice. And I would be inclined to give it to him because he also doesn't, outside of those really specific setups, which you can whistle sometimes. I found, at least in my experience. You don't get ladder too bad. Just watch your stages. I think even's fair.
Yeah. What about? I imagine Meat just winning, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, I think we win.
Meat Gunner's annoying.
Crap, that is the least fun I've ever had playing this.
Yeah. Oh, no. Meat Gunner's one of the most unfun characters in the game to fight. But
I played Captain Cito, and we were both like, I don't ever want to play that again.
Yeah. I played it a little bit. I actually played a little bit of Gunner myself. Surprise, right?
You just rinse, repeat. Reds are great in the matchup, reds and yellows, because a lot of explosives and charge shot. You need to understand how to deal with their bombs. But I think they also have an up B. Their up Bs tend to be exploitable as well, like a good downer at the ledge or something. You just put it out there, you catch them, and just don't panic, and you should be fine.
All right. So I think we lose the Swordy. Any thoughts?
I want to say even. This is something that I've played a few times. It's been a bit since we played, but there's a Mii player in Florida named iTheta who plays all the Miis. And I think the only time he ever beat me was the same tournament where I beat him first and then I gave him advice. But while Mii Sword Fighter has the kind of combo of Hero Spin, Tornado, maybe Chakram or the Reflector or whatever, and Tornado does win, that character is extremely linear. He only has like one speed, it feels like, to play, right?
Yeah, but it feels like Tornado is just like, what do we actually do to punish it? Like, it kind of feels like he just gets the NATO, and between that and his Reflector, it's kind of just free. Like, he just kind of gets the camp, and then, like, he just hard.
See, weirdly enough, for me, the annoying part isn't Tornado, it's Chakram.
Yeah, that one's also annoying, too. Ledge trapping, neutral, like, it's just sort of to approach this and, like, stay on top of him, honestly. He just kind of does things.
I don't think you want to play it staying on top of him. I think you want to recognize that he's throwing Tornado and play at a distance where you kind of maybe mid-range, long-range, and you jump over and you throw it, and you chip damage him until you get a purple and you open him up with that. Some important things to note are, to my knowledge, if you're point blank or very close, he actually can true combo off Tornado. It has so much lag. So being up close, you're not in risk of getting comboed by that and dying. So he has to use his other buttons, and his shield pressure, I don't think is that great. Down tilt might be kind of safe, I don't know off the top of my head. And he's got some buttons.
Down tilt's the only thing he has.
But outside of that, he's definitely exploitable. His hitboxes aren't as generous as, say, like a regular Link. If you guys are really confident and really want to put in slight losing, I get it. But I think the more I played it, like, if you just play around his singular gimmick, you give yourself some space to react, and you understand that you're gonna have to maybe take it a little bit slower until you get your right lineup or until you open him up and understand what his pattern is. You're fine, because he can't force the game to go any speed. It has to be Tornado Chakram spam the entire game.
I just think that's fine, because, like, we have to deal with it. Like, he doesn't have to deal with us. We have to deal with him.
Why doesn't he have to deal with our Pikmin stuff? He can spam Reflector all
just kills
day.
him.
Yeah, NATO just kills him. Reflector just reflects
over.
it. Chakram just deals with it. His Nair actually just handles Pikmin very well. Like, he just kind of kills Pikmin by existing. Like he kills Pikmin like he breathes air.
What I will say, though, something I noticed is that, like, Tornado's really slow, so it's actually, like, if you get the parry timing down on it, it's actually just a free punish. And Swordfire's disadvantage is so garbage that, like...
That's
something I noticed.
Yeah, like, he's got safe-ish buttons with his frame data on his aerials and stuff like that, but his projectiles aren't safe. I think I think it's Gale Strike is what it's called. That's minus 33 on shield if he does it up close, so you could run up shield potentially if you parry it. You don't want to smash out of a parry. Your Pikmin will die. But grabbing potentially can be really nice because your Pikmin are intangible during that. I think, yes, his buttons will do more, but you can dodge his easier than he can dodge your chip damage. So he's just as susceptible to killing them. I mean, if you and Cyber agree it's slight losing, throw in slight losing.
I don't know if it's even or slight losing. It really, I don't know.
I'm gonna stand by slight losing. This is one of, like,
okay.
If this one's like,
have you ever lost to a Mii Swordsman?
They barely exist, but when I play the matchup, I just don't want to play this game anymore. Like, there are matchups where it's like I don't want to play the game, but it's like fine, and then there's matchups where it's like I don't want to play the game, and it's not fine. Like, I feel like I'm working way too hard for someone with mouth breathing.
I think our fundamental disagreement, but I'll concede on slight losing.
I'm in the middle between both of your opinions.
As always,
it feels like Olimar has tools, but oh my god, is he annoying?
No fun doesn't always equate to slight losing.
I know, but like there's a difference of like me wanting to bash my head in no fun versus this is annoying, no fun.
That's fair. All right, let's go.
All right, Min actually is kind of like, especially after the nerfs.
So.
Online, this is -2. This is actually unwinnable online. But offline, this is even.
Yeah, online matchup, we're throwing a lot of characters up that -2. We're like, nope, can't do that. But offline, even I actually loved watching Shuton versus Proto. I think at their East Asian qualifier. I think he was utilizing his style of interception extremely well.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, the nerfs added in that really opened stuff up. And honestly, as long as you're able to understand, I'm by far no expert in fighting Min Min, and I happily accept that. I actually lost a money match to one whose name I escaped at the time. I think it was Justice at Smash Tour recently. And I was just like, you're literally just spamming F-Tilt, I'm losing because I'm bad at it, but this doesn't feel like I can't do anything. I just don't know what to do.
You toss Pikmin, you block, and now especially you can just kind of block, roll at the right time, toss Pikmin, do like space aerials, and like the thing is she's still Mimic, she still just runs away and spams stuff forever, but like it's kind of one of those like matchups where it's like she's not pressuring us by playing super campy, it's just annoying. And requires us to be meticulous in our approach and not get too predictable, which is fine.
From my experience,
and then she gets blown up when you hit her. She
from my experience, her style of advantage isn't necessarily that much better against Olimar. I think Olimar does decent at dodging some of the things with his maneuverability and his ability to recover, to a point where it's like it's not as crazy as other characters who just get auto sniped by her arm or something like that when she goes off stage.
Yeah.
What I will say also is like the shield damage nerf helps so much in this matchup because a lot of the time, like before she hit my shield with like a Mega Waff, for example, I felt conditioned and basically like I feel like I have to jump and she just covers that really well sometimes with Ram. And now like with the shield nerf, it feels like I can kind of just like run at her with shield and it feels like I'm okay a lot of the time. And I can still use Pikmin to block. I can still like jump over her stuff depending on what she has. It just that shield nerf helps so much.
All right, well, glad we all agree it's even. Pretty back and forth. Just got to be on top of your A game. Game and Watch.
Even.
I hate Meister.
Even.
I want to say it's slight winning, but I'm not good enough at it.
I just feel like I can see why you think that. Like on paper, it feels like that, and then you play it, and it's just like Game & Watch is kind of not like Game & Watch in general sounds like a not great character on paper, but then in practice, everything he has is just like a bit too tweaked, like in his favor. That like his airspeed's a bit too much, his like damage is a bit too much, his safe down moves, his bucket's a little bit too annoying. But like it's not bad, it's just like even.
No, it's not bad. You can do a lot to him, but I want to hear Cyber State because I everyone's telling me you just farmed Meister. I want to because like I fought him and I'm like doing some stuff, but I'd slip up and then I'd have my own kind of player weaknesses kick in. But I want to know what were you doing that was making it so difficult for him? Because I think Dabuz has beaten him with Olimar. I think even MFA beat him in a money match, and that's a matchup he might too familiar with. But my style of Olimar tends to struggle with that very. I don't say gimmicky, but over-centralized playstyle. It's like, I'm going to keep narrowing on you. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. But I think you're more resilient to that as a player, so I want to hear your thoughts on that.
One I noticed was, while I was playing Meister, and I was like, wait, I can just, like, if Game & Watch does anything, it's like, it's so telegraphed, because the thing is, he doesn't really have good approach options, and he has to approach Olimar, like, and the thing is, I could just whiff punish him pretty much, like, all the time. Like, if he nared, I dash back F smash, or I just called him out with a forward air. If he went for a back air approach, back air isn't that safe. Or like if he does the fade back one, I can just respect it and nothing really happens. Dash attack isn't safe. And then like he's really light, so he gets blown up really easily. Olimar can actually 2-frame him if you pay attention to like, where he is.
Yep.
If you pay attention to like where he is as he's recovering, Olimar can 2-frame him actually really well. And also the thing is, something I noticed specifically was like if he hit me, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I'm being juggled. Up air's never gonna kill me. I can just slowly drift to ledge or to a platform and then slowly like end up setting. And nothing.
USDI Nair good too. You can get out pretty Nairs.
Yeah. And something else I noticed was this will sound really weird, but like if you space your moves, they're safe on Game & Watch. Like if you do space backers, he can't up you, and you can just react and punish sometimes depending on where he drifts with it. And also his landings, you can straight up just wait. Like
yeah. You know, I kept trying to challenge down air, and while there's probably a timing to where you win with up air, not worth it. Don't do it.
Yeah, just hit the side of him.
So straight up, I would bait it with like, I would bait down air with like jump up and like basically an empty hop and then wait to see what he does.
Yeah.
And then like if he down aired, I pay attention to the drift and either I shield and up smash or I dash out of the way and forward smash him.
Dude, I think that's also Meister having a bad down air habit. To be fair, I don't think it's even representative of the character.
What are you saying? That's a Meister habit?
Yeah, I think it's like specifically a bad Meister habit.
You're probably right.
The
problem is every other Game & Watch gets body.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
It's hard to like you draw the comparison, but where do you feel it is? Even or slight winning, Cyber? Where,
Something else I want to say is Bacon Less Trapping's actually not good against Olimar if he has a purple.
Yeah, we just do light shot Pikmin toss.
You just
with
jump, throw it over. It kind of
it just beats every Bacon, hits him, and then I reset neutral for free. And neutral is so easily Olimar favored. It feels +1. I don't know. Like, it feels weird to say that, but it really feels like it's slight edge Olimar.
Feels like Olimar has the tools, and in practice it may be hard, but I think your style, the way hearing you explain it, I think it's like, oh, that is actually really simple. And watching back my Meister set,
I played it like a sortie half the time, and it just worked.
I just maybe was not respecting the range on the Nair, like because it has that massive disjoint or whatever. And I do feel like it should be +1. It's like if you compare it directly, it's like okay, hit for hit, Olimar wins. Olimar gets chip damage. Olimar is light so he can get out of combos. And it just feels like it should be a slight winning, and if Cyber School would put in there.
Yeah, like when I played Meister, I felt like a few things I could have done differently with Olimar, and I just went Rosa because my Rosa is better. But it feels like if my Olimar was better, in general, I would have just beat Meister. Because it's like, there's so many spots where I make little mistakes, I don't push things right, I just don't know what to do with Olimar. But it's like so many
it feels like when Game & Watch hits you, you're not going to die. Like, okay, I'm fine.
That's a big deal.
It's going to be like a stray hit where he just caught you lacking a lot of the time,
Oh, and something else specifically, because I don't know, with stages, never take him to a walled stage, ever. Because then it gets annoying, because then he can actually kill you with edge guards. You really need there to not be a wall.
Well, don't worry, I wasn't gonna
I was going to ban Yoshi's and Kalos anyway.
Yoshi's Kalos, none of that.
If there's 3 bans somehow, I'll also ban PS2. I do not like PS2 versus Game & Watch.
I'd rather get rid of Smash from the PS2.
I would rather get rid of PS2 than Smashville, but I think that's interesting. But alright, we got it. Game Watch sucks.
Alright, we have a bad character. No, also a bad character? Ness, right?
I think it's +1.
Yeah, I think it's +1.
It makes me want to pull my hair out, but offline, it's like you can kind of match him in the air, you can respect the disjoint to react properly, and you got some really good buttons against him. Also, utilizing the elemental properties, reds for PK Fire and stuff just helps so much.
One thing I noticed is, like, this matchup feels like you just wait for Ness to press a button first and then you just punish it for what he does.
Yeah, but you also force him to press buttons first because it's just Pikmin toss.
Yeah. Purple's
the only thing I say is, like, really annoying in this matchup is PK Thunder when you're in juggle situations and also when you have to recover the ledge. Because Yo-Yo used to not hit Olimar and now it does, and now I'm confused.
Well, Olimar used to have a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, but basically only PK Thunder. I don't know how to deal with as Olimar. Otherwise, it's fine.
You can nair it actually, but it's kind of awkward. PK Thunder's very annoying. Whistle is not bad versus it.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of Olimar and disadvantage already. It's just like that's an additional option, but you have a lot of ways to handle it.
The only thing I find annoying in this matchup. Everything else just feels fine.
A lot of times I just go to the ledge versus him. Like if you on stage and drift to the ledge, he can hit us with yo-yo charge, but like it's only ever gonna happen if we're forced like I'll be from a distance. Otherwise, we can kind of swing it.
We can.
Also, you can just do the stall for 2 seconds. That way, you don't get hit by like the tiny hitbox and get sucked in, and then it just turns into a mix-up game. So yeah.
Magic you can't hit PK Thunder with an aerial because your aerials are transcendent, so it'll go through it unless you hit it before the hitbox comes out. The hitbox comes out, and then if you side B, you can't really do that from.
I think we can use the lingering aspect of down air to like have the Pikmin's hitbox connect on.
You could potentially do that. Yeah,
that's like a very like weird gimmick, but actually
it's not like Smash 4 where you're like down air, I beat projectile.
Yeah. Damn, what about Smash for Olimar aerials?
Oh my god, no, I would not. No, thank you.
Alright, Palutena, even matchup.
I think slight winning post nerf.
I would think that, but this
character is too tame.
I've played against
feels winning
so much of this character versus like Jen, play Chaga Smash World Tour, and like I'm fine in the match. I think I'm good in the matchup, but it feels like this one of those matchups where we win the neutral for sure. We're really annoying for her, but she has always like been post nerf really good at the advantage state. Like she pushes advantage hard, and Olimar already struggles there in disadvantage. So it kind of just ends up meshing where it's like we messed up in neutral, we get like dash attacked like something stupid, and we have so much trouble resetting neutral for no reason. Meanwhile, she has no difficulty resetting neutral. Like we'll beat her ass in neutral, and she'll just up you out of there, and it's like, all right, we gotta win neutral again. And it's like, yeah, the neutral is so good for us, but we have to win it so much more than her, even if it's easy as hell for us to do that.
I think that's fine, because a lot of the times you're almost wanting to just keep it in neutral. Like, she cannot approach well. Like, yeah, if you're committing foolishly, she can dash attack or back air through it or something like that. But a lot of the times, like, you just start picking, like, yeah, come at me. Literally come hit my shield so I can hit you. I'm waiting for you to do something like that. And then get chip damage really well. If you dodge, if they get impatient or something, and almost every pal I've ever played does, they'll throw out an auto reticle or an explosive flame, and then you get a free punish off of it a lot of the time if you're ready for it. And you just get purples, and she doesn't deal with purples that well, actually, because of the way she pressures. So you bait stuff out, you kind of corner into shield, and you just gradually, at least the way I like to do it, is gradually ramp the pressure. Yeah, things like Nair and disadvantage are really frustrating.
I'm sorry, interrupt. Like, she can hit the Pikmin very easily, like purple, like with a back air or forward air. We can't really like run up and punish her that easily because there's so little lag on her aerials. So it's
Are you
like,
saying when you're throwing them or when they're on the ground?
when we're throwing them, right? Like she just kind of
Okay.
jump away and then hit it with something. And it's not a big deal. She can also just run up and make like a guess on like dash attack, dash grab. And because her advanced stage is so good, she kind of just says, all right, if I guess right, I get a lot of damage. If I guess wrong, I get up smashed. Like,
From
whatever.
my experience, because I also tend to do really well against Palutinas, or set wise at least, it just feels like they don't have that kind of wow factor. And the advantage is something that you were bringing up as her kind of big relevancy in this matchup. Yeah, she can juggle you, but air dodge, neutral air dodge is really good. If you're really cheeky on it and you're confident, yellow down air beats her up air.
Yeah, it's true.
You can, you go to a platform stage, you get a lot of mix-up potential with up B. You kind of up B high, then immediately fast hold like a battlefield platform, a town one. Off stage, it's not even really a problem. They can nair you. Post nerf, it doesn't kill that aggressively. And if you're really good about mixing up your kind of up B, if you have a full charge, you can usually make it back. And I think she just has to work so much harder. Her kill throw is stage dependent, unlike ours, or it's position dependent. And she just, outside of stray back airs or hard reads or something like that, I feel like she has a much harder time killing. And I'm fine with playing that neutral game where she's already at a disadvantage until we move on to a point where I get 2 purples, and now it's like, you just can't approach me. You can't do anything. And I can make those plays. I can approach you. I don't think it's like a cakewalk. I just think it would be slight winning. But even isn't the most end of the world thing. It's just my track record, and I think the character's tools with the final patches and all that tend to lean more towards Olimar now.
Alright, what do you think, Cyber? Because I lean even, but honestly, it could be slight winning. Like, it definitely is not, like, definitely.
I played May. I played, like, Mysterica, or May, very recently in this matchup, and, like, it does feel Olimar favor. Like, the fair nerf mattered, it's easier to whiff punish now. Like, she can't really kill Olimar that well. Olimar's really tiny, so she's, like, which helps so much in this matchup because he's so tiny. Like, the only, like, it just feels like Olimar just out neutrals her so much, especially, like, this will sound weird, but I kind of like Battlefield against her because, like, she doesn't have a good way to hit him on that stage.
It feels
like, if I hide under the platform, she can't hit me.
It feels very comparable to someone like Violet, who also likes to approach their Nair and kind of mix you up and get you cracked open from that. And if you avoid that, then you're like, oh, everything else you have kind of just doesn't do enough. And then as long as you respect certain instances of their gameplay, really mix up your recovery or do whatever, I think it usually doesn't get too out of hand. But they do have tools. It is still definitely like most of these slight winning matchups, if not all of them, are very much like these players can kind of catch you off guard. They can press certain things, but it's never like, oh, I have to respect all of this all the time because I'm the one.
What I will say was, if it wasn't for the forward air nerf, I'd say it was even. The forward air nerf helps so much with punishing her. Before, I had to respect that move so much.
Now we don't give a shit about it. Now it's all backers all day.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, I did 3-0 Chag at Smash Bros. Tour, and I do have a good record versus Jen, so, okay. Alright.
I actually, I played Chag in a couple money matches.
I heard you wrecked him.
He actually counterpicked with Incineroar and started taking games.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah.
So
it's more proof Incineroar beats Olimar, as I want to say.
No.
Anyway, we'll come back to this later when you've played the matchup and realize Incineroar does beat Olimar. But
alright,
+2.
Winning. Yeah, that's
+2.
Yep.
So bad for that character.
Awful. That character
Pikachu.
Sucks. +1.
I think Pikachu's
+1.
You want
+1.
All right.
Yeah. +1.
I'm not. You're not gonna catch me arguing a winning matchup.
When you have me saying a matchup's winning that confidently, you know it's winning.
All right.
Wait, I'm willing to hear both yours and Myron's take on it. I think it's winning, personally.
I actually don't have enough experience in this matchup, and I go Rosa in this matchup anyway because I hate how Poison beats Pikmin Toss.
There's not a ton of plants out there, but from there's one in CFL who I think is probably the best plant in Florida. Whenever I've played him, I beat him. I think it is either I can see +1, maybe even if you really argue how aggressive plants advantage state can get, and you show me like undeniable proof. But
if you show me undeniable proof of Plants Advantage State being really good, I may agree to an even matchup. I need scientific with data calculations.
Yeah. Yes. No, but I think oh, one sec. I think Plant lacks a lot of the approach options he does. His dash attack is unsafe on shield. Yeah, Poison Cloud does go through Pikmin, but grab just beats it. He Poison Clouds, you dash grab, free punish. And you get grab armor when you're throwing, so you don't take any Poison Cloud damage. Yeah, his advantage state is a little annoying when he does things like the Patui and the plant and the cloud, but he's gonna have a really hard time opening you up. You just kind of take it slow, get your chip damage, get purples because they're really good through it over cloud. You can even like go around Patui as he shoots it because it's a very specific hitbox. So as long as you understand how it works, you can kind of outmaneuver that because he's not fast either. He's got arguably the worst 2-frame I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He gives it to you.
Yeah, he says, please kill me. Please.
So I think, yeah, he's got a nice advantage state and he's got stuff, but he's just not good.
I will say, I personally think Plant's even because of Poison Cloud. I like you mentioned, like grab beats it, but at the same time, it's like
let me ask you
just
this.
like
what about Poison Cloud is stopping you from hitting it? It doesn't cause any knockback. You can dash attack, down tilt, jab, grab, literally anything that's not going to stop a pick. You can even, in some cases, aerial through it. And I've found it's a little bit less consistent because they can get caught, but like you can just hit him. It doesn't. It's not a wall you have to respect. I remember watching. I think it was Shuton versus Brood at like a couple years ago. They played and everyone was like, Plant beats Olimar. It's like I just saw Shuton respecting this move that has no knockback. Like, what are you doing? Walk through it. It's not gonna hurt you, right? And
I mean, it does hurt you.
That's fair. That's fair.
It does do a lot of damage.
It does hurt you, but it's like it doesn't force you to do something. You can just run through it and hit him. And I think that confidence, you just get to push your advantage on him. And he does have a couple good moves, but he's not like that's why he's not a +2. He's got some stuff to help keep it a little bit more balanced.
All right.
No, that's fair. And also, by the way, let's actually talk about Pikachu because I know Myron thinks it's even, so I want to hear his thoughts on it.
I just think this is probably a me thing. And it's only really ESAM. I think he's just, if you can press that advantage state, it's kind of like let me think of the other characters out there that can do it. Think like Corrin, right? We were talking like, well, they have the really good juggle game. Yeah, SDI helps a ton, but I think Pikachu can just, it's a mix of frame data and strong advantage state, and the only reason it's not like winning. It's not bad for Olimar, is you kill Pikachu very easily, and they can't mash in the same way like Mario does. It's just they have good reactive buttons, as opposed to kind of proactive. So instead of like approaching you super good, you hit them the wrong way, you play wrong, and they'll press that advantage very well. They'll catch off guard. That being said, I think Dabuz is like a textbook on how to body Pikachu.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's a playstyle thing where like my playstyle is I'm not committing to shit. If Pikachu wants to commit to something cool, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna poke him all day with Pikmin Toss until he fucks up somehow, or just fucks up by existing.
I think, and I think because of that,
actually help so much.
Yeah, he actually can do anything about them.
Yeah, and that's why I'm more than happy to admit it's winning. It's definitely a matchup thing or it's a playstyle thing for me, and I just haven't really got it down pat because I tend to be more interactive in that sense, and you shouldn't always be interacting with someone who's got so much juicy frame data.
Imagine interacting with Pikachu. Yeah, that's your problem, bro. You want to fight Pikachu.
Wild.
I need you to literally go into the matchup with Pikachu and assume you have to time him out. When I play ESAM, I know it's not going to be a timeout, but I go in assuming that if he wants to play that way, I will time him out. And if he doesn't want to play, I'll still play in a way that times him out until he fights me.
Yeah.
And then you occasionally run up and hit him with something because he's doing bad T-jolts and go, alright, GG.
And also the thing is, like, Olimar having disjoints really helps because Pika can't really, like, stuff him out that well, especially if you do, like, space out smashes.
Pikachu has awful hitboxes. He can't do shit.
Yeah. Your range is amazing. And funny enough, Pikachu's pressure isn't the safest, and that's what I meant where it's like you can't really proactive those hitboxes. You have to be like, oh, you hit me, now I'm gonna bear out a shield, as opposed to something else.
He has a lot of like guessy like pressure, like hit your shield and then like take a mix up. He doesn't play the mix up game well because Whistle escape stuff. Olimar being small and hard to combo is good versus him, and then like as there's a Pikachu's damage up, it kind of sucks on Olimar. Meanwhile, I've hit ESAM for 80% damage up smashes. Like it's nothing.
I've seen you kill him off a hit before.
It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Definitely a winning matchup. I just need to work on it, and I happily admit that.
All right. Okay, after talking to Cyber at main stage before playing Moxie, I'm like, all right, we just beat PT. Yeah, that's it.
Agreed.
I think we beat PT as well.
All right, cool.
I think each Pokemon has their own weakness, but we can exploit things from every single one of them.
I like fighting Ivysaur the least of the 3 Pokemon. That's probably a wild take.
Agreed.
Oh,
yes, I don't like fighting. Ivysaur is the most annoying because they just spam Nair and Bear on me, and then I get clipped by it.
And they make one mistake, and you get hit by a Razor Leaf, right?
But at the same time, it's nice because they're not like Charizard and Squirtle where they rush you down. It's like more tempo-based, I feel. And if you can do that well, you can really crack Ivy open. Also, Purple's body Ivy. And Ivy has bad frame data compared to the other two.
Yeah,
so
I
that
think
lets you be a
Purple's
little
just
bit more...
IPT.
Yeah,
Purple's
yeah,
just IPT.
Definitely. But it's like you can hit Ivysaur's shield a lot more generously than you could hit Charizard's or something like that.
And you can just throw
Either
Purple
way.
through Razor Leaf, and it's so annoying for him.
Yeah, or F Smash. Either way, it's definitely not a bad match for Olimar.
You just don't get
Yeah.
grabbed. The big thing in that matchup is you can't really jump too much, like, at bad spots, because if you jump poorly, he will grab you, and you just die if you get grabbed. So you have to avoid the grabs. You have to actively either challenge his jumps, like with the aerials early, or back off, toss Pikmin, like pressure him after that. And you really can't let him corner you. And, like, it's not much room for error, I'd say.
Okay. I mean, definitely a solid match, though. All right, Pyra Mithra. Oh, I love this one.
Oh,
All right, -1, yep.
Boys.
I hate her.
Oh, no. You guys are lacking the fundies. Listen up.
The
All right,
bunnies!
so
This character doesn't need to have bunnies to kick Olimar's ass!
that character, that is not a losing matchup. I guarantee you. All right, so let's break it down character by character. So we'll talk about Mithra. Mithra has solid
Nair.
frame data. Doesn't matter. Look at Violet. That's the same move. You're just bad against Nair.
Well, okay, put Violet Nair and Sheik. Go ahead, see what happens.
No, I'm not saying that Mithra
Okay.
Nair isn't good, but Mithra Nair is -10. That is a big thing. That is a
We
punish.
can't even punish that.
You have forward air. What do you mean you can't punish?
Forward air starts
She can
above
cross
us at
up.
frame
She can
7.
cross up.
It won't actually
Neutral
hit.
air.
What good Mithra is going to neutral air and be point blank? Only a stupid
Do you
one's
know
going to
how many Mithras I've punished neutral airing me? Are you serious?
How many good ones have you punished?
Don't even get me started. I'm beating Cosmos.
I want to see you do it again now you got better.
Put me in bracket against him. I would
Please, I
love to.
want to see you soon.
Okay, wait. What I will say is I did watch Leo's game versus Pyramithra, and it was really close. And what I noticed was, okay, I think this is just something everyone needs to work on, not just the Olimars, but it really helps against Olimar. Pairing the landing hitbox on neutral where she just gets hit.
Yeah, it's a free F smash, in fact. Because you're
I think it's losing, by the way, but yeah, that's something I noticed. Like, if we work on pairing the Nair, it will help so much.
And I think there are different dynamics between both characters. But another important thing to keep in mind about Mithra is that her tilts aren't safe on shield. They're comparable to like a Roy Crom situation, right? That down tilt's -11 or -10, forward tilt's -11, up tilt's -14, also doesn't hit if you're behind her. And it's like, those are things where you need to be ready to punish with a forward air right after, right? You have to be ready to punish them. If you're letting them do it for free, that's a mistake on you, not the character. Yeah, pull it up. Yeah. Look at it. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, okay, so myself, hold up. Because, no, you're
You're talking to an encyclopedia of
frame
Olimar. I'm gonna
12
win this
up
argument.
smash, by the way. For
All
minus
right,
11 on block.
Go to forward air.
What Pyramithra is landing with fucking forward air by -7?
It's not forward air. They're not. If they're landing with an aerial on your shield, then they're doing a tilt after, and you're not punishing. That is a you mistake. It's the same with Roy and Crom. It's the same with a lot of these.
Because
characters.
I don't want to have to take a guess and mash at a shield versus every time they do fucking air.
It's not taking a guess. You pay attention, you react on what they're doing. Yeah, they can mix up with the grab, but it's not all that. I literally body Mithras all the time. Pyra is more threatening, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit, Pyra is more of a character.
This is
But
two characters.
Mithra does not win the exchange rate. Mithra hits you, you take 30. You hit Mithra, she takes 60. Or she dies easier to chip damage. Purple's body her. You can guarantee spike her recovery every time she side beats the ledge if you want to hit her. You can whistle out of certain confirms. You can mix up her shield pressure well because she doesn't have, that cross-up nair is really good on her. You can punish her tilts if you're ready for it. If they're landing on you or they're just doing any tilt on shield because they do like to do run-up tilts. They do like to run up dash attack. That's a free punish, either with a forward air, a back air, or an up smash, depending on what they do. All right, so that makes it a lot more. I think if it was just Mithra, right, then definitely Olimar favor. But then when we bring Pyra into the mix, right, and I will actually mention that, Zove. When we bring Pyra into the mix, yes, the character is far more threatening. Large hitboxes, you die easily. However, there are some changes in the matchup. Now you have a character who's slower, who you kind of take a more, let me make you approach in a way I want, or intercept you. When I was fighting Leo, I definitely dropped the ball. If you watch that game, I had ample times to kill him, and I just didn't do it towards the end, because I got nervous. He's Mexican. I don't know. He's good at the game. But he's, and it's hard, but you just take it slow. You respect side B. He has to approach you. Dash attack's not safe on shield. A lot of those tilts aren't necessarily safe on shield. It's like, I think Mithra or Pyra dash attack is like Pikachu, or Pyra F tilt is like Pikachu dash attack, right? Where it's got that enhanced, hit stun, but it's not safe. He's Mexican, Magic Hand, just like in, Hbox told me it on commentary. I know it's true.
He did say.
Like,
No, he
is
screamed
Mexican.
it. He said he is Mexican.
It was so good. It was. I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Uh,
Like, if you look at someone like Pyra, it's like, okay, yeah, the F tilt can be kind of annoying, the down tilt can be kind of annoying, but they don't always fall into pressure with that after. So it's a matter of trying to intercept them, right? Because they usually want to fall with the back, they want to fall with the down air.
wait,
so
can I interrupt you for a second? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I know you don't want me to, but I have to. All right, you're doing all this stuff, right? You're thinking about all these punishes, options, whatever. You know what the Pyra Mythra player is doing? They're sucking their thumb and go goo goo gaga and they're winning.
You're not wrong. It's
They
DLC,
don't even have like I think raw players use more of their brain.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves there, bud.
Okay, okay, they're at the same. But like the point is, you can literally give Pyra Mythra to an infant child playing with their left toe, and it will be a problem.
I will want to point out that from my experience, I do extremely well against Pyra Mythra. I also was talking to Shuton. We were playing at Smash World Tour. I went even with Pyra Mythra, and I asked him. He was like, "Oh, it's even." I legitimately think you have to be more on the spectrum of like the call-out style of Olimar. You can't just play hyper defense and let them do it. You have to be ready to intercept them because they do have openings and their recoveries can be exploitable if you're good on it. It's just a little scary at times, but they are not this frame data monster because when they swap, when you go Mythra, you get exposed, you get opened up like a Sheik or a Squirtle, even though you do have some good disjoints. And when you go Pyra, you lose the speed, you lose the ability to really hyper pressure shield or mix you up like that, and you get stronger hits, but then you run a larger chance to be intercepted in the air, get sniped by a purple, get put to a tech chase situation, and you have to be dynamic as an Olimar player and swap between the two things while you're fighting them. Just, yeah, it's going to be hard. I mean, it's DLC, it's easy. I mean, I don't think that's the fairest reason to say we lose to it. But I think from my experience, I have a good track record against these characters. Shuton agreed with me when we were playing, it felt fine. I just think Olimars tend to get scared and overly pressured by big hitboxes or speed, and she can have both at certain times, and that makes it more scary than it actually is.
Myron, if you don't mind me asking, because I watched your game versus Leo, right? And I noticed you were pairing the neutral layer very consistently. Mind if I ask, do you have Rumble? Like, do you use Rumble in order to, like, get the timing for the neutral layer?
I have it on, and I don't, like, intentionally, like, this is the Rumble at every instance. I think it's more like, I feel it, and I know, okay, that's it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, how you'll do that sometimes when you play. You're like, okay, I reacted to that. It's not me actively thinking, wait for this Rumble to go. But yeah, I do play with Rumble. That might have some influence to it. I'm a very visual person though, so I see Nair and I'm like, that's Nair. I parry it. Okay. And I go in with that confidence, ready to intercept them because you need that. And I think
so it's like a time. So it's basically just we need to learn the timing of when to parry neutral. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, and you can watch where they're landing from, right? Because the nice thing about those landing hitboxes is that it's always the same. It's when they land. So it's like it generated then. So then you can get more kind of adjusted to it. I find with multi, because I did the same thing with Byleth. I try to. Or other characters. And I legitimately think if you're confident and you know how to take each of these characters as they are and jump around them, it is an even matchup. I don't think they have more inherent advantages against you than Olimar does, because they also both get bodied very hard by purples.
Alright, but foresight on Pikmin toss.
I still think it's light Aegis.
Yeah, the foresight on Pikmin latch when they learn how to time that shit right. GG.
I'll be honest, it's actually hard to time.
It is hard to time, but I think once they learn it, it's like it's reliable enough to just ruin our day. Anyway,
what I will say with regarding the foresight timing, because I did play with Cosmos a bit on Yuzu, and what I noticed is like it's actually really, really hard to do, because the thing is, besides the initial Pikmin lash timing, they can't really time it, because like they can time it to like when you initially lash a Pikmin, otherwise they kind of have to guess, because the thing is like if you lash more Pikmin, then the timing changes as well. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna convince you guys.
Yeah,
but
you know.
And that's fine, but I legitimately think like.
No, I like hearing your thoughts anyway, so I can build a game plan for the future, because you know me, I don't make my own game plans with Olimar. I copy everyone else's.
No, you're a little thief, and I've been...
true.
Yep.
But, no, I think you have to suck it up and recognize, okay, let's do it. So everyone who sees this matchup, just know, the Buzz and I did not see eye to eye on this one. Let's move on.
No, I mean, that's fine. I just want to learn how to play that matchup.
To be fair, that's why we have 3 people in this council, because 2 people didn't see eye to eye with you.
Oh my god.
Alright. Okay, I know somehow Myra's gonna think this matchup's even, and I'm just
took the words right out of my mouth.
I also think it's even.
All right, I'm not gonna bother arguing that.
There we go. Belmont's just too polarizing, I think, or not too polarizing. He's linear in what he does. He does advantage very good, which is Olimar what sucks at, and Whip can be kind of annoying. But I lost to Dom at MSM, right? But I'd be lying to you if I told you I was ready for a top level Belmont's mix-up game, that because there's one of them on the planet. right? Like there are more
used to be
Olimars
too.
that I can run into, right, than I can run into with him.
Yeah,
My
that's
character
fair.
is way more popular, so I'm just caught off guard by things. But Olimar is actually also really good at avoiding ledge trapping versus him, because yeah, he can whip your axe shoot, but your up B has a lot of maneuverability. You can mix things up, and you can avoid that huge aspect of it. And then when you put him at disadvantage, you can really tear him up. You can intercept his recovery. Pikmin can actually, I noticed this more. We had a Belmont player in my local the other day. You can throw Pikmin in a way that increases the chance of the whip not tethering and trying to hit the Pikmin. And then it ruins a tether. If he's going horizontal and you really know how to like kind of line that up properly, that can intercept him a bit more. And I think it's just who gets the other one in the disadvantage bad spot.
So many of these even matchups are who hit the other person first in neutral, which I respond to. I'm pretty sure Belmont's gonna hit his first in neutral, but I will acknowledge that of all the types of characters I am bad versus, the Belmont archetype is probably one of my worst. So I shouldn't even have an opinion on this. So moving on.
I played Frosty a bit before he quit, and it never felt that hard a lot of the time.
The only Belmont that ever beat me, I think, was Dom, and it was that one time, and I was just like, I'm not ready for his bag of tricks. That's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
But we can move on. Ridley, I think.
You've played this matchup
I haven't
a
played
lot.
this matchup.
I think it's
I've
like
played this
even.
matchup. I think it's even.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I think it's almost like Belmont, where it's like, in a sense where you're both just trying to push advantage states so hard, because Ridley can do a nasty advantage state on the Olimar, running off naring, fairing. Ridley's
a
back
win
there,
neutral
hits
first
everywhere.
Like,
yeah,
when I think of a neutral first matchups, and I look at Ridley, I go, this is one of the most in the game. Because Ridley is already that type of character with his matchups, and then Olimar is. So it just multiplies itself. To the point where the first person with neutral wins the game.
I will say, I think Olimar, if he plays mid-range and tries to play very reactionary, he has a bit of an easier time intercepting Ridley. But it can go either way. But yeah, even is where I would put it. It doesn't feel too lopsided one way or another. You can also really tear up Ridley off stage.
Yep. All right, Cyber agreed?
I haven't fought Ridley. I can't say anything.
All right, there's no way.
Robert.
There's no way, Robert, that you think Mr. Robot over here is anything but a losing match. The amount of times I see Olimar versus Rob, and the Olimar player is outplaying the Rob player and still loses.
Yeah.
Isn't that just Rob in general?
No, but especially Olimar Rob.
I feel like I've been doing like deep dives into the ancient Olimar text to try and decipher this shit. I'm trying to solve like a cipher that's not even legible.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
I can talk a little bit about this matchup too, by the way, because I money matched Big Boss and I also played Fury a decent amount.
I totally understand.
I played Zombie friendlies. I just can't.
I'm 3-11 with Epic Gabriel before he got banned. I've lost a zombie. I've beaten them all. I've beaten every Rob, I think, one time or another, online or offline or whatever it is. But it is, you got to work hard. And I think the biggest thing is that you have to find kills early. Like, you can't be letting him live to 200% all the time because he's a rage monster like Olimar.
But he's big.
You would think that would help you. You would think that would help.
Yeah, it just makes
but
heavy.
No, you have to be careful off stage. You don't want to go out there and edge guard him too aggressively because forward air intercepts, up air clips through ledge. But I think it's so weird because it feels like you'll outplay him a lot and you'll do things properly and you'll parry the nair and you'll do all this. But it just doesn't work out, and my brain has a hard time understanding why.
It's like you do the right things, but you just can't punish him enough because he just kind of doesn't care about Olimar's advantage state. And like we combo him, but he's just heavy. Like our combos don't do enough unless we're killing him, which is so hard to do.
It feels like he's the heaviest character in the game sometimes when you be hitting him. You're like, why aren't you?
And then you can't edge guard this. And he's so like his ledge game is actually so good. Ledge trap projectiles, nair, like he has so many ledge mix-ups. And ledge trapping is hard. So, and even the neutral. Bro, I watch Shuton play Zomba, right? Shuton does one bad jump, and he can't land it versus the projectiles. You can't land versus laser. You can't land versus like say you cannot jump versus him ever. Because you will just never land versus him just spamming projectiles.
I was actually.
Can we say -2
on that? I don't
think it's -2 personally, but
dude, no, we count Shuton Zomba because
I think slight losing is fair. Because like a lot of the games that we're losing, you can argue I'm not playing, but you could also argue you're not understanding what to do in this moment. You're making the mistake, and that definitely happens. You will definitely spiral with those projectiles, one bad gyro into a laser into whatever. That has happened to me before. But I think -1 is where it is, because a lot of the sets with these Raw players are going game 5. It's going last hit, or you'll beat them another time, or you'll do whatever. And I think it's taking that awareness that you need with Olimar to the next level. You have to keep track of your Pikmin health. So you know if you can parry, up smash something, right? You have to keep track of what your Pikmin's doing at a given moment. You have to play Olimar really fucking good. And that is why it's losing, because Rob is out there, brain dead on you. And that's the way the character is, and it sucks. But, it definitely is an advantage for Rob. As much as losing matchup. Oh God.
Yeah, it might be his worst
definitely
matchup.
wins.
Can
we agree Rob definitely wins?
Yes, Rob, as of right now, he wins.
What I did notice while I was playing against Big Boss and Fury was a lot of the time when I hit them, Olimar can surprisingly kind of chase Rob when Rob's in disadvantage. It just
you have to be close to him when disadvantage starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to accept the fact that you might just not hit him and get nared and fucking lose the sock.
I notice also
it's a
yellows
balancing
help a
act.
decent a lot, because otherwise his act shows meh, especially if you're if he's facing away from you, so
Yeah.
that helps a lot too.
His ass
And
is
also,
not great, I agree with that one.
Reds are really good because if the Rob the thing is red helps a lot because the thing is it helps against Nair because then he just can't kill anymore.
Mhm.
And I noticed reds and yellows help me a lot in this matchup, and purples obviously. But,
Yeah.
I think you need to be using every Pikmin in your lineup to their ideal use. Reds for the fire damage, yellows for the range. But I will say, part of Rob being big is it's a detriment. Purples not only tech chase him to forever, but he is, I feel, the easiest character to combo smash attacks out of Nair. And I mean Nair double hit down smash tech chase setups, or you can generate that damage so easily that it gives you a big advantage. You can get him to those kill percents. It's just maybe we're not locking it down enough. It's definitely a Rob favor, but I would say it can be comparable in difficulty to someone like a Terry or a Cloud is really on top of me. It's just a different way.
I will say it definitely feels easier than Terry and Cloud in comparison.
I think it's an Olimar playstyle thing that's going to help certain times more. If you're really good at intercepting, you're going to have an easier time with Terry and or Cloud or something like that. But if you're better at maybe kind of waiting for them to overextend and not intercepting, but maybe making them make a mistake or encouraging them to doing it, a character like Rob or Sword Fighter, I feel is going to be easier there. But I do think -1 is where I would put Rob.
Okay. All I'm saying is I will definitely put my -2. This was my chart. But moving on.
We got a
Moving
plus
on
two
to
now.
something that I play Olimar verse because yeah.
Oh,
Can we make
that
a
matchup's
special
easy.
+3 and put Robin there, please? I
Robin
think Robin
plus
gets
2.
annihilated.
100%. Robin plus that character cannot do anything against Olimar.
Wait, why do you think it's +1?
No, I put it +2. I autopilot.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
All right, Myron. What's that set count?
Samuel, you have to understand something. That is not fair. That's not fair. You're one of the most qualified people on the planet versus me, and I have nothing. Nothing except
All right.
2 sets.
All
And you
I'm
don't even practice with me. Checkmate. Then +2 for Olimar.
I do think Olimar legitimately has so much trouble because I think Rosa just doesn't have to fight Olimar. She can gravity pull Pikmin toss, and then she just keeps Olimar at disadvantage like it's fucking nuts. I don't have to use my brain to keep Olimar at disadvantage, except for a few.
actually,
I have to use a little bit of my brain to keep you at disadvantage, but it's so easy.
made some strides in the middle of our.
You
We
did.
played a Smash Bros. Tour, right? I was really understanding some things after the set. I was like, oh, it makes sense for me now. I understand it better. And the answer was, I camp you. That's what I'm gonna do. You can't approach me. That's something.
You think I can't
Please.
just throw Starbits and Lunar Lamp
I want you
backers and whoop
throw-
your ass?
Do it all day. Please, Sam.
Lunar Lamb
please.
back, you're so annoying to deal with.
You
Oh my
can,
god.
You can take me to the moon and back. You want to scrap with me? Let's fucking
All I'm
do
gonna
it.
say with one option, get you one hit into the air, and Rose's juggling on Olimar is so free. Actually, Olimar can't do
set,
about it.
Was our set last time 3-1? I think it was.
Yeah, and
Okay, so I took a game, and that was better than the time we played at main stage, right? So I
Yeah.
definitely made some strides in a matchup that I have legitimately zero practice in. And I think it's even. I think, yes, you have some nice tricks. Olimar can actually have a pretty decent advantage state against Rosa. You can combo well because she's floating not that fast before she gets crazy high percent. If you're really good, you can intercept her up into the ledge because it doesn't have a hitbox. It can be down smashed. It can be down or down tilted or whatever. You can kill Luma really easily. You can F smash it, knock it off stage, get it out of there quick. And if Olimar is good, and you can probably attest this to Buzz, if the Olimar is good about mixing up side Bs the other way and baiting out your down Bs, I can get free latch.
Yeah, that's fair,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
get stuff like that. And if you're playing a very one-dimensional basic Olimar, yeah, the Rose is probably gonna, be dumb and brain dead or whatever and not have to think and do it. But I think at a higher level, when you're really like utilizing the character's tools, great. Whistle can help land against Rosa. If you're denying things right, I have literally whistled double up airs. I've done it. I mean, you just have to be smart. You can mix up your recovery pretty well as well because I have the up B. I can kind of hover there. I can mix up, grab the ledge, come back. And no, I can't just freely hit you. But I think if you take it slow, Olimar can compete pretty evenly. And I would argue Olimar's going to kill Rosa easier than Rosa's going to kill Olimar. You have your down air. You have the occasional smash. I can clip you so much easier with a straight hit and kill you. I've done it. Back airs can do it. Smash attacks can do it. Your smash attacks, you're not throwing them out as much. You're throwing out a lot of light hits, landing nairs, and you don't even like to land on nair with me. You don't like to fight me up close because you recognize Olimar's a lot more threatening immediately.
You know why I don't? Because
why?
I can just run away with the most lame playstyle versus Olimar's Rosa, and you can't do shit about it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like I could use nairs more, and the only reason I don't is because why would I even take the 10% chance of getting hit when I can take the 0% chance and just zone you forever and you can't do shit about it?
I legitimately think that if I or any other Olimar was able to practice that matchup and you weren't a unique case that had perfect understanding of both characters, it would not feel as lopsided for you.
Alright, Cyber, what do you think?
Fought Rosa, but it looks like she wins.
What? That's not even an educated guess!
I've watched the Buzz versus Myran enough times.
Like, it's
that
one of
matchup looks hard.
It's one of those things where I can push the matchup.
I played Rosa once in my life. Lunar landing back there made me want to rip my hair out.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you can get better at the matchup, and I can get better at the matchup too. But, like, Rosa is able to just not play the game versus Olimar, and he can't stop her. Like, you know, a lot of characters can do that, but she actively has very safe pokes while not playing the game. So, like, I have active ways to constantly pressure you and hit you with zero risk. I disagree. And you get some Pikmin pluck. Yeah, it's fine. But, like, I don't care. I mean, because I can nair Pikmin off me. I can, like...
You can Starbits all day. You can't cover jumps with Starbits from far distance. I can throw Pikmin when you're doing that. I can get latch damage. Starbits is not a problem for Olimar. It can intercept. I'm not saying it's a useless move. It definitely has its purpose. But I think my side beat is better than yours. I think it's going to do more for me per toss. I'm going to get more off it as long as I'm not blatantly running into it.
I mean, I'm just like able to run up in there. Like, I can just dash
the thing is, what I noticed as well is like Starbits just keeps Olimar out. I don't like it seems kind of just annoying to deal with.
And it keeps you out, and like I just let you jump away in there, and you can't do anything about it.
And that's why I said when I started this, I was like, I made the realization that I can't run in at you most of the time. I have to camp you, and then I get the percent lead, and then you approach me, and I win. If I parry a nair, you're getting up smashed.
Actually, nair is safe on parry from up smash.
There's no way you're spacing those nairs close enough to the ground where you're not going to get hit.
What do you mean? It's very easy.
I'm flying to New York right now.
It's so legit. It's like, once again, it was one of those things where I just kind of ignore like getting close to you with anything. But if I had to, my nair is -4 on block. Even a not well spaced fast fall nair is gonna be with you parry at like -9 or 10 on block.
Hold up.
It's -4 on block, bro. That shit's busted.
No, not that. Yeah, let me just pull something.
Rosa nair is so good.
It's
like,
so
good. I'm not going to convince you, and I get that. I just think you guys are giving him, or you're giving Dabuz's mastery compared to my literally lack of anything a lot more credit, and I think that's a little unfair. But I'm not going to argue it. I will try to scour the Sahara Desert for Rosalina player that plays Wi-Fi.
I know there are Rosas that play online. I know they exist.
Well, they suck. So
Myran, again, from the very little I play of it, it feels like Rosa wins. It's just, again, I want to see the matchup develop more. I just need to see it more, personally. And just right now, it feels like Rosa wins.
Shadowrun says, yo, Myran, don't leave me on read.
I recognize your guys' opinion.
All right.
We'll move on.
Anyway, +2?
Can we please put Samus in +2?
All right.
Yeah, Samus +2.
All right. Sephiroth, I can see slight losing or even. I actually think it's slight losing, but...
even.
If it's,
I think it's even.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue. Yeah.
Like, the only thing that keeps him relevant is his crazy comeback factor with one way.
Yeah, and the fact that he just plays super lame.
But
what I
know
noticed specifically
was
was
play lamer than Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm.
And something else I noticed as well was like, while his nair is really good hitting Pikmin off, a lot of the time I just get double purple free against him because he's so good at hitting Pikmin off.
Yes. I will get purple so
easily for jumping in there.
Straight up, if you play super slow and just slowly walk at him and toss Pikmin,
yep.
Like, you just get double purple and then he gets cornered.
Mm-hmm.
One good jab block, one good shield break with, like, because you have double purple or something, and then he's dying at, like, 70. Yeah.
And also the thing is, like, his whole, like, stupid ledge shenanigans aren't actually that good if you just, like, toss Pikmin at him instead of just, like, going for normal ledge trapping.
Yeah. Like, say grounded, just play annoying, and he has to do something about it, and, like, it's very annoying for him to do something about this.
definitely.
And again, like, the way he has to deal with those tools just give me double purple for free.
Yeah.
Definitely feels like an even matchup because of how the pacing goes. It tends to, like, because Sephiroth's not getting anything from waiting, whereas you are, and that's going to do more for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like one wing is still broken as shit.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous.
But like that's like he needs to kill us with one wing, which to be fair, we have trouble killing sometimes. But
I don't feel like Seth is hard to kill for me.
I have
But
trouble
that might
killing
just be me.
people with Olimar in general. I think that's just my issue.
No, I do too. But Seth is weird. Like, I never actually have trouble killing him.
All right.
Because he's so light and he's, like, surprisingly big. And purple, you just had double purple pretty much the entire game. So,
Yeah, no, I agree.
yeah.
All right, great. Sheik, that's a plus, I would say +2 or 1. It's definitely winning.
I lean 1 because I think she has options to win the neutral and like do things, but like she just has to like work hard.
I think parrying bodies her. Yeah, her frame rate is good, so you might not always get a frame positive thing. But some important stuff to keep in mind is, are they trying to attack after that parry? 2, she doesn't kill Pikmin on parry almost ever. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's so weak that your purples are going to be living forever. She has a terrible time killing purples.
She straight up needs to down tilt 4 times to kill a purple.
You can just intercept her in the air. She definitely can pressure you. Whistle actually does really well against her, I find.
Yeah.
Especially when you're DIing away, SDIing out. So it's winning.
Actually, yeah, it's +2. Yeah.
I've never struggled with
Sheik.
I know there's people saying like Void and Zachary have really high hopes and they do it, but like until I've had a Sheik give me the hands.
She's overrated, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just not
I even saw Void put Olimar like beat Sheik +2. Like, I don't think that's even a hot take.
Yeah, no, that's just a cold
it's
take.
rough.
All right. Now, I am not going to give my opinion on Shulk because, Myron, you have so much more Shulk experience than any of the Olimar in the world. Like, period.
Yes.
To the point where whatever you put him as a matchup, as long as it's not super cap, I agree.
No, I think it's even. I think it is very back and forth.
Okay.
It's just, you guys, it's like, you both kill each other.
Yeah.
Who does it better? You know, you have purples, he has arts, and his arts have detriments, your Pikmin have detriments, and with really good parry shuts Shulk down super hard because he has that long winding frame data, a lot of single hits. Purple's gonna be tough for him. Just respect certain things, understand where his weaknesses are, and you can really punish him for having that kind of mediocre stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Also, I want Shuton versus Kome Alana. It seems like, yeah, like Myron said, Kome just gets blown up sometimes when Shuton gets buried.
A better player alert in that matchup. It's like, who's doing that thing better? Who's getting, are you stopping Shulk from getting his Buster stocks or the Smasher kills? Yeah, that's how it is. Snake is +1.
You know what? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like you're really good in the matchup. I definitely
get
antsy. I get too aggressive and I can get reversaled and it tilts me. But I think you do it really well. You're like, hey, I'm gonna keep projectile throwing.
I'll play lane, bro.
Your character sucks.
I will say in this matchup, the only thing that's scary is that like Snake just killing us so early, and like sometimes like he just is making a grenade wall and we just can't get past it, but we're getting kind of poked out. It's like sometimes we just kind of have trouble like getting anything going. We just die super early. But yeah, for the most part, throw Pikmin as grenades, throw grenades back at him. Abuse fact, you can punch through his uppy armor. He has a lot of trouble punching like cross up dash tech, so it's actually funny enough a decent option. He has a lot of trouble dealing with
amazing.
Red Pikmin, like because they tank explosions. Purple's hard for him to deal with. Like he just fucking hates Olimar.
Yeah.
I also just noticed that like straight up like space red red F smashes also just help poke at him because he doesn't really have a good way to contest that move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He has like jump over us, which is a hard read.
Max range F smash, you're just like, hey, deal with that. And he's like, I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to throw a grenade over you and pray.
He's like,
All
what
right.
do? All right, Sonic. This is gonna sound crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised if the matchup is even.
No, I think
it's even. I think it's even.
Yeah. I think offline reactability comes into play, and it turns into who's getting that lead better.
Yeah.
Whoever gets that stop lead and they are committed to camping, the other one's going to have a nightmare approach.
And we're gonna get the percent lead almost always if we outplay.
As long as you're not going too aggro and giving him openings and playing your stuff right, it's really difficult for him to get in. I've grinded this matchup so much online, I actually just don't even play it anymore because it's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
It's like you just F smash and side B and shield and rinse and repeat and he loses % more, and then you get purples naturally, and then crazy, you just win.
And Pikmin Toss is so annoying for him because like he'll home it in on a Pikmin from Pikmin Toss, or like his spin dash combo is messed up and delayed from Pikmin.
Spin dash. I don't know what spin dash or spin charge exactly. I just know he's spinning at me. It loses in the air to smash attacks.
Yep.
Oh, there's like a sound cue. It sounds like it's revving more if it's spin charge.
I know the difference visually. I'm just saying off the top of memory. I don't know which one it is. It might be both. it loses in the air to smash attacks, whereas grounded one clank, which are also good,
Yeah.
spin dash clanks purple F smash, he's in another F smash.
Yeah, you have forward smash, up smash, whatever.
Yep.
Like, it's so
Yeah.
annoying because if we lose that lead, it's just over.
Yes.
The game's just
You
done.
you have to execute your plan very flawlessly, but it's very reasonable to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think.
It feels like a similar like one stock game kind of situation. Whoever gets the first stock wins.
Like, because
All
it's
the
almost like percent's irrelevant. I've been at 180%, he's at 40, and I've managed to get the kill first. I'm like, great, I'm winning.
Mhm.
And you just stick to those guns. And so yeah, it's very who's gonna execute their game plan better. And I would argue, like kind of like Sephiroth, Olimar gets more powerful over time, right? He's
Yeah.
getting those purples, he's getting the lineup he wants, and then he can intercept so much easier.
Yeah, Olimar
Yeah.
the timer scam character.
Agreed.
I love describing him that way because it's so true. All right, Soros. I play a lot of Sora, and I think the matchup's even long term. I think Sora's
I agree.
really annoying with how
I
much
agree,
he just jumps and spams aerials, but he's so slow in the air that one single bad jump and Oliver could just like fucking forward smash him.
Yeah,
Up
I
smash him, grab him.
haven't got to grind with any like top Soras that much. I've done some online stuff, but it always feels even. He just can't force you to do something all the time. He can have a nice advantage state with up air and stuff, but Pikmin really just body him, purples body him. You can block his spells. You can intercept his recovery really easily.
Yeah.
And it's just don't be
And like
foolish
he
up on
has
his
to
shield and
approach you.
chilling.
He can't
Yeah.
camp you out.
Mhm.
But like it's Sora for him
Yeah.
to approach.
Yeah, so it's like
He loves dash attack especially. This just doesn't work in the matchup.
so I definitely think even. It's just the only really way he's gonna be winning is if he's getting you an advantage and he can really push that. And
Yeah, I
he
agree.
definitely can do it. He's
Yeah.
got good mix-ups with Nair and stuff, but it's not like it's not an advantage for him.
And like we can't like hard punish projectiles, and also like he just naturally kind of fights us at like that 45-degree angle we don't deal with that well. So like he's constantly forcing us to kind of call him out. So there's a lot of like situations where it's like, oh, we're both just guessing, and someone's gonna win the guess game.
Yeah.
All right, Steven from Minecraft. This is an
I
even
hate this
match.
character.
Minecraft.
I agree. It's even. I hate this character.
I actually don't
I-
mind fighting this as Olimar.
I feel
Really?
even.
Yeah.
It might push to slightly winning because I've seen you do it, Dabuz. I feel like with enough practice, I think Steve is another matchup where it's like it's hard to find good Steve players to grind with online.
I've fought enough Steve players. I played Yanni a lot in friendlies after I lost to him the one time. I played
yeah.
Diddy a bit. No,
Well, I played them online
not
too,
Diddy.
and I do.
played D-Dog.
I've played Diddy and I've played Yanni and friendlies and stuff, and I do well there. And I just don't have enough consistent tournament experience. But I don't think it's Steve advantage.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
It's just Diamond's scary, Purple's is scary. Respect Minecart.
So the way I see
Nope.
it is, both these characters are timer scam characters. Steve has a much stronger timer scam, but Olimar hits his like scary points so much faster because we just need one purple and we're like scary. He needs to
I
get a
think-
whole ass diamond before he's like horrifying.
I think the nice thing
Yes.
too is, unlike Purple's, Diamond doesn't inherently change how he's approaching. It just makes it better. Whereas when you get Purples, you can approach in a new way. You can cover new options. Diamond just makes what he does better, and I think that helps you more there. Whereas when he hits you with Diamond, you're gonna die really quick.
And also, Pikmin messed up his combo game quite a bit, and Pikmin, like, when he hits Pikmin with Diamond, he's still breaking his Diamond. So, like,
Yeah.
he will break his tools very fast versus Olimar. We also can honestly just deal with his, like, wall of just stuff by hitting with forward air, start from the punish. We can easily hit him out of the minecart. It's, like, no problem at all.
Yeah. No, I definitely think. Plus, if you're really on top of your A game, you can intercept his minecart. You can intercept his a beast to the ledge, right? You have the down smash down to whatever it is. And it's kind of just knowing, like, it's a big knowledge check, right?
Yeah.
And if you know that, and I think the Buzz was a great example. Riptide got shambled or whatever, and then at Glitch shambled him back. He's like, I did my homework. I know what I'm doing. Now your tricks don't work, and that's a huge thing. That's gonna happen because there weren't a lot of times to grind Steve offline at that point.
Yeah, it was my first
and-
time playing
yeah.
Steve offline. So,
So I think it can go either way. They're both kind of really power creepy characters that get out there, but it's not. He's not doing what some of the more troublesome characters are doing.
I will say the
And
one thing
like
that
you
sucks is that, like, he's so good up close that, like, if we get up close to him, like, we have to fight him up close. And a lot of times it feels like it's just straight up RPS.
Yeah.
So it's
But
like
think-
weird because I feel like player skill is diminished in this matchup due to that.
I agree.
Funny enough, I get that from a lot of DLC. But yeah, I can see that. I do like though that he does not have a great way to deal with purple side B.
Yeah.
You can really get
No,
that.
and also I
ball.
noticed that like even when he has diamond, he still has like his approach launches versus Olimar specifically still aren't the best, like you said, Myron. It just feels like once he gets a hit, just better that time.
Yeah, as
It's
long
still
as
like
you're
a stupid
careful.
timer scam.
You keep your stuff ready. You're not gonna get randomly blown up because he's not hitting you with like Roy Fair into jab or some nonsense like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Even matchup sounds good.
All right. Toon Link winning +1.
I would say +1.
Yeah, we just kind of camp out with Pikmin Toss and win.
Sure.
Yeah, he's definitely, I feel, the tamest of all the links.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely just feels like watch out for his couple of confirms. Respect to Zaire, because I feel like it's actually
Toon Link just
surprisingly
sucks. I'm gonna be real here. I love the character. He sucks.
Yeah,
I
he's
remember when
definitely-
I fight Toon Links and they try and zero me, like my forward smash still hits them.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
funny.
I mean, yeah, no, definitely wins. All right, Wario.
I feel bad for
Buns.
Gluto. He just wants all of our experience.
The Gluto Shambler.
Yeah.
That's a
Dude,
winning matchup.
every
Yeah.
Wario I watch is so bad at this matchup.
I
Does
agree.
Olimar just destroy Wario?
I think Olimar beats Wario pretty bad, but I think
Wario
they
does
also
beat
suck
Wario.
the matchup. To be fair, Gluto can't get Olimar experience because there's no Olimars in Europe, and every time Gluto hits me up to play, he hit me up at like 11 in the morning one day, and I'm like in my bed just chilling, or he hits me up at
Dude.
like at midnight as I'm falling asleep.
At the match before, I was like, let's grind. He's like, all right. And then he hits me up at 11 at night. I'm like, I'm at dinner.
Yeah. He hit me up at dinner one day, and I'm like, ZZZ, I'm at dinner.
No.
But, like,
The thing is also like the other Wario player Loaf from Minnesota. He plays like he has Olimar experience.
Oh,
he
I
plays
whooped his ass.
34.
I
I
whooped
remember
Loaf's
that.
ass
That
in
was
bracket.
Dude,
hilarious.
he doesn't know how to play this matchup at all. He
Oh.
like
The
every
thing-
time he fights an Olimar being 34, he complains on Twitter. He hates
the
this matchup.
problem is that Wario has to approach with his body,
Mhm.
but it's not
Mhm.
like Mario.
He has
back
to
air
throw his
approaching.
body at us.
It's not Mario back air approaching. It's like, let me nair on top of you, or like
Yeah,
rising
yeah.
fair, and you're like,
And every
smash,
Wario player
up
full
air.
hops and tries to mix in full hop
Yeah.
approaches, and it's like, you're full hopping at me, bro.
And
I just up air.
You can honestly camp him till the cows come home. Like, yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want him to get waft, but like, you get purples, and you're like, you can have waft all you want. Good luck getting through this.
Yeah,
like, you already
so
had
much
something
true,
something
actually.
normal. Olimar.
Landing, like especially since the waft nerf, he can't really true combo full waft like off anything in Olimar. And even like half waft is hard to combo into for him because we're small. Whistle actually matters a lot,
yeah.
and
Whistle
Pikmin mess
destroys
up
him.
his confirms.
SDI on neutral air and up air also really hurts his normal combos. If you SDI that nair out really hard, you can just ruin things. You get a nair out or get a whistle out, and then when you whistle, he does a rising something. You're like, all right, eat this up air, eat this back air.
Yep.
And it's just like he's got that natural Wario cheese factor, which can happen to the best of us, but it's such an uphill battle to approach.
And we can just swing at him because he doesn't have any dish. Like sure, I just fight him. I just start swinging if he's near me, and it's like
Yeah, I'd be like, a sword, you don't.
yeah, like you have to
And also
whip
something I
punch
know
me
is,
with the
like-
air mobility, which is not easy.
Wario is like the definition of a character of I don't see what he does against level purple. What does he do?
He kind of just hopes you mess up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like a few other characters, he's just like, I hope Olimar makes a mistake and I win, or I read him like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right, we fit +1.
So
+1.
I agree with you out of principle, but I can't stop losing to Varun.
I fought Varun at main stage. You know all I did? I just camped him out because Varun is very aggressive. You're just not as good at the. Like, you have to be very campy. You also have to realize when you're fighting like Wii Fit, her main approach is going to be either dash attacking you, which just whatever. She's going to throw a projectile at you, which you kind of have to contest the projectile with the Pikmin toss, because if you like block it, she actually approaches very easily if you block projectiles.
Yeah.
And if she jumps at you, her air mobility is decent, but you have to get like it's funny. The call out style of like a bit of like an aggressive aerial is actually very good for her jumping at us, because you can just kind of jump at her and counter her. With that said, I was losing in friendlies to a Wii Fit trainer, I forget what his name was, before playing Varun in bracket. And I was like getting like killed at 60 consistently by this Wii Fit trainer. I was like, what the, I'm horrified, what's going on?
I know you have kind of that John Numbers experience prior and stuff. I don't know how much you guys play now, but I know that your playstyle I think just works really well to fight Wii Fit.
Yeah.
I typically tend to struggle with NorCal in general. Like I said, Kurama before, even Varun gets me, and that's why I'm going there. I definitely do agree. It's plus 120. It was almost like the Incineroar problem, where it's like I don't struggle with all these other Wii Fits, but that guy is just giving me a lot more problems than I am. It's a player problem, and I recognize that. It's definitely not like a Olimar can play that slow game. Because oh my god, Pick Latch, when it ticks, hitting the soccer ball back on areas.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I will say that like we're so easy to kill for her that like that's the only problem having the matchup is like
You just have to be careful, like
You have to be
making
perfect.
sure you're not staying right under her for nairs, not hitting the back of her shield for down tilt or back airs, respecting maybe a couple shenanigans near the ledge, like understand her win conditions and play around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Well, okay, we have to lose the wolf. This is a -1. I don't care.
So I could understand it being a -1. However, I want to add in a couple anecdotes, I guess.
All right, go ahead.
MFA is a monster at this matchup. He is so good at intercepting Wolf. I literally can't wrap my head around how good he is at just calling them out. He's like, I understand that my character has a sword and you don't, and I win. And he just wins a lot. And I've actually been working on that a lot myself. I happily admit I'm not as good as I'd like to be. I think it can be even. I think it just feels like Wolf has linear approach options, right? It's either dash attack, falling air, falling fair.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, that means he's interceptable if you're careful about it. Actually, think about when we were fighting Tweak, right? We fought Tweak at
yeah, we both fought Tweak.
He put me into like existential dread from the Wi-Fi sessions and the ass whoopings I would take. It was like, it hardened me to understand hyper focus on his movement, recognize when he's double jumping away, recognizing when he's falling on you, punish him, get your purples. And I think if you can do that, you can actually minimize a lot of that Wolf advantage. If you try and play him normally and you're just running in, throwing out attacks, trying to play it, no. But you have to really lock him down because he either has to commit or reset. And if he does one or the other and you're ready for it, because you can react a lot of the time, you can win. And I think that makes it even because he does have flaws. He does have that interceptable thing. You can punish his recovery if you're really good with a down or a down smash. You can combo him to all hell. He can't handle purples that well. Sure, he has the reflector like any other character. It can be a little cheeky. But I think you can open him up once, and because he's that spacey style, he's combo food. He gets really wrecked there. So you take it slow. You force him to approach, incorporate a couple parries, maybe even a couple shields, because his grounded options actually aren't safe. Right? He'll land with the nair. F tilt's not good. Down tilt's not good. Jab's not good. So he has to grab at most, and that's a mix-up in and of itself, like any other character, and you punish that. And I think something I'm working on, you even recognize the beat Tweak, and his Wolf was known as the Olimar Slayer. He literally beat everyone. Every Olimar, he would counterpick Wolf and win before that. And I think that's the stride on top of the fact that someone like MFA, and I think Shuton as well is pretty good at it.
All I'm saying is his Wolf Slayer would be my Olimar, but go on.
Okay.
I can also add something in this because I talked to MFA a lot. So I asked him about the Target the King Sen, and what he said was a lot of it was like you mentioned, Myron, a lot of Wolf's aerial approaches can be kind of reactable. So what he was mainly focusing on was kind of trying to intercept with the in the air.
Yeah.
And then what happens is like yellow's really helping that as well as purples because you can kind of just like toss them in the air, and then Wolf can't really like approach you through the air anymore. And the conditions him to stay grounded, and Olimar just really like destroys Wolf if Wolf stays grounded. So like a lot of what he did was like just trying to intercept Wolf in the air and kind of conditioning grounded approaches, which Wolf isn't good at.
I just feel like we have to just read him. Like we have to read and condition him. And it's one of those things where we have to constantly read and condition him when he doesn't have to work that hard to beat us. It's like
I don't think you
like
have to read as much. I think you play at a distance where it's more reactable. Because your
I feel like he's hard to
boxing
react to
game.
He's a fast faller with good airspeed.
Your boxing game is actually fantastic against him because your jab is safe on his shield. His fastest out of shield option is going to be nair generally or fair. That's 10 frames. So you have the luxury of getting a couple mix-ups with that jab on his shield, getting a purple up smash on his shield. I guess he could grab you, but if you can hit from behind and things like that. So you can mix that up, and I think it is, you recognize your spacing. Like, this is a matchup that I think at the low level, the average player, Wolf's going to run a train on them. Because they're not like...
Hey, what are you saying?
They're getting ran over. No, I'm saying at higher level where we're keeping tabs of these things. It's like, oh no, Olimar does have a lot better way to contest. And it's not like a Terry, where Terry literally says, I press my button and you have to respect it.
yeah, Terry does.
Forces you to do it. Wolf is a lot more like, if you're not ready, I'm going to hit you. And I think it falls kind of in line like Fox, where, yeah, he's got some more raw kill power, but he actually lacks some of the combo ability with that nair, with that stuff. He's got his own. And I legitimately think it's even, and I think there's, as of late, I think there's more data that points toward it being even at the high level.
All right. I mean, if you think it's even, Cyber, I think Wolf wins, but
in my opinion, I think Wolf slightly wins, but like we'll have to wait and see.
All right, in that case, Pringle slightly losing. Oh, okay.
Were you scared I was going to say even?
Yes, and I was just about to be like, man, I can't co-sign this.
Olimar wins +2. Wolf gets shit on by Olimar.
All right, I can't co-sign this. I'm deleting this.
All right, Yoshi is probably even.
Yeah.
Could be +1.
Could be -1.
I've played. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. I'll be the middle one, man, and I'll just say it's flat even.
I think even's fine. It's just from my experience with Yoshi's, they can just get absolutely torn up if you're really like on top of them. Purple's also, it's similar to Peach, right? Where purples just give them trouble. Because what they do is they approach with one aerial, and then you throw one purple and it blocks it. You throw another one and they lose, or you throw exactly. And they lose. And it's just kind of respecting certain aerial approaches and stuff. But even's an understandable one.
Yeah, it's just like discount Wario in a lot of ways. Like, and that's fine because he hits harder, and that's the big deal. Is he hits harder, and he has more air mobility.
Yeah.
I'd say with like
Yeah, he does.
some better stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Young Link's actually pretty even. This is a weird matchup because you'd think we win. And sometimes it
actually
feels
think we win.
fucking godlike for us, and sometimes it feels absolutely annoying.
The only Young Link I've ever fought that made me feel like it was closer to even was Toast. And I think his style of Young Link is very good at kind of playing back and forth. But every other Young Link, I just trash. Like, I get probably a lot of them don't have that Olimar experience.
Yeah, like I play with Vavo a lot, and he has a lot of Olimar experience, and we play it, and it's just like this is rough.
I feel like on paper, when you look at it, like Olimar's just beat Young Link pretty consistently.
The results do indicate Olimar wins after Smash World Tour. There's
And
3
I think-
separate
Dude,
Olimar Young Link sets, and Olimar's always
hilarious.
won.
And I think it's like he kind of is like that middle ground of a Link and a Toon Link, right? But he lacks the range of regular Link and some of the kill power, and he's more susceptible to whistling. I feel like if you so you DI up B behind, right, and send you behind him properly or whatever.
Yeah.
You can whistle a lot of his immediate follow-ups. Like you can whistle first hit back air and up air. If he goes for his normal spacing, you can intercept the projectiles very well. And I think he just lacks a lot of that oomph that regular Link would have. Link will throw out a fair and he's like, I'll kill you and I'll outrange you. Young Link doesn't have that. And I think that pushes it more towards
He has to find like the burst options, like space projectiles.
He has to get in on you, and he has to do it multiple times. And he's got some crazy setups with projectiles.
I mean, he can be really campy. Like he can be campy. He can also kind of like as you said, like, bait out whistle, frame trap the whistle. He can he also can just up B shield punch a lot of stuff at shield up B. Like we can't like press buttons for him.
You can.
Wait, what frame is up BO shield?
It's like frame 5 or something. Let me check.
It is 9.
Okay, yeah, frame 9.
Actually, up smashable fresh. Which is actually a huge deal. That one frame makes a big difference.
Oh, that's actually a big deal, yeah.
That means you can also sweet spot jab his shield.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's -8. But what you can also do is, I mean, you can punish his up B on shield. His down tilt is very similar to like pre-patch Olimar up smash, where it's like the down tilt spot dodge, right? You get a read on that, you can punish him.
Mm-hmm.
I do think whistle helps a lot, and I think the Young Link on average has to work harder. I think if as an Olimar player you're struggling with him kind of just like on top of you all the time, pressuring you with frame data, you're gonna struggle. But if you're doing your job as Olimar, generally giving yourself space, intercepting him, incorporating the occasional parry or something, it's going to be a lot harder for him, and I would put that in slight favor. And I think the results do show it. Yeah,
the results do show it. I just think like when the Young Link players are right, because I do think the Young Link players like don't know it as well as Olimar players. That like the matches happening in bracket, I think the Olimar players know the matchup more. So I feel like it's looking like it's Olimar's favor when it's really even. But I do like once again the results. He is forced to fight us and like eventually approach us somehow because we get double purple. He just loses. Even like red pigment are so bad.
Like, that's why I know he can't really like projectile camp Olimar because then you just get double purple and then you can just roll him over. And also the thing is, this is just more of like how you fight Young Link in general. But like once you get to mid range against Young Link can't really do much about you because Olimar is like we're so good at mid range and his range is so bad in general that like Olimar can kind of just like throw out moves at him and he can't really do much.
Yeah. About it. All right. I mean, do you think it's winning?
I think it's light edge. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Zelda.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. Right. We have to lose this matchup.
So I have lost to one Zelda. It was tie at main stage. I've heard endless nonsense about that.
This matchup.
He was playing good. I felt like I was playing bad. I will also add, I've beaten Vin. MFA's beaten Vin. He's typically the best. I've beaten literally every Zelda I've played. I think it's a matchup you just take slow. Zelda cannot approach.
No matter what she is unable to approach.
It's illegal if she comes at you.
Illegal right there.
She has
red alert.
to like play this very specific style. And I think, like some of the other maybe matchups we have in Slight Losing or guys you tend to struggle with, I think it's a very specific thing that is just super annoying to deal with, but it doesn't necessarily equate to her winning. Like her neutral B is frustrating. It's not safe on shield. It's a free fair punish, right? You can throw Pikmin all
it's
day.
It's even more than a fair punish. You can up smash it.
Yeah, I legitimately think the data at higher level fighting, good players, I don't want to take random schmucks at a local, generally shows that Olimar can do well against Zelda offline.
What do you think,
What I will say as well, I guess to support Myran a bit, I did money match Ven at main stage. Like, it took me, first time I played Ven, he destroyed me, I didn't know the matchup at all, but then I played him again, and then what happened was I noticed that, the thing is, Phantom's annoying, obviously. Phantom's obviously really annoying, but the thing is also, she can't just kind of, out-camp Olimar, she kind of has to approach eventually. That's the thing I noticed, because the thing is, you can toss over it, and if she ever Nairu's live it back, okay, that's fine, I whistle, and then just the situation resets again.
And I think there's... Oh, sorry, go on, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, sorry. You can... But the thing is, like, also her approach options in general, like, they're kind of linear, but they're good against Olimar to a degree. To a degree, not very like I personally found dash attack kind of annoying. Her last trapping's really good against Olimar as well. But like,
Yeah.
the thing is, if you touch her, if you so much as get in on her once, she straight up just gets blown up. Like, she has such a garbage disadvantage. Like, she straight up can't land. Like, what does she do?
Yeah.
Up across the stage.
That against me, you just chase him and hit him again.
It's horizontal, but the up B does have a lot of like. I don't think like we body Zelda by any means. I think she keeps it very competitive, but I think she has some extremely damning flaws about her character that Olimar can exploit well. It's almost like Sonic, right, where you have to take it slow and let it pace naturally to your favor, and I think that's where you can get the edge. But if it doesn't happen, or she gets a lead, or you play it wrong, it'll lean towards her. But I think it's like that, where it's not like she just comes out and you're already losing. I don't think it's like that.
Anyway, I mean, I guess I just played too goddamn campy and awful at advantage state to beat her. And thank you so much, Kai, for the 7 months. Let's go 7 months hype.
We've learned in this that our playstyle differences tend to make certain matchups way harder or easier than they need to be.
Yeah. All right, final zero suit. I don't want to say plus 2, but it could be plus 2.
That's a +1, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe post-patch it might be +2, but I think +1's a good middle ground right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like that character's gonna struggle, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. She's like she can still be 0. Like, she's still fucking 0 suit. She's still a top tier S character.
Yeah.
Olimar's still a mid tier S character. Like,
no,
so true, mid tier.
Yeah, so true.
Happen 100%. No. But yeah, we win.
Yeah. All right. And okay, now back to Hero. What are we doing with Hero?
Back to Hero.
Cyber.
I have no idea where to put this character.
Okay, I saw. Are there any Olimar mains in this chat? Any of them?
They're all Dabuz, all of our main favorites. No, don't listen to guys. What about my chat? What is Hero?
No, chat. All of our mains. What is all radio? What is the Hero matchup? -1 or even?
What we have to do? We have to go to the Olimar Discord.
-1, even, +1,
no.
-2. What is it?
We're asking the chats right now, and that's
my god. I'm getting an even. I'm getting
a -1.
Even. Actually,
okay, so right now we're getting the Buzz's chat is saying -1. Myron's chat is saying even. What do we do? This is as RNG as Hero.
No. Wait, someone in your chat says even or -1. Oh,
that's
god damn it!
Shy boy, he's yeah, it's even. That's that Nedward even. There's a lot of evens in it. Yeah, I think it's even. All right, you know what we'll do? I'm gonna pull up a coin flip on Google.
Oh yes, let's do it. You're right. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna do it actually. I want to flip the coin.
You want to pull it up? All right.
Wait, can we just make a special tier for Hero that says we coin flipped and this was the result?
Yes. All right. So heads says even, tails is -1.
All right.
Oh, it's -1.
Oh, shambolic.
Let's go.
Okay, but wait, can we actually just make a tier for Hero and say we coin flipped and got -1?
We coin.
I'll take that L.
I'll put this. I just give it the top because it's funny.
There we go. Yeah, we didn't even have any -2s at the end.
Okay,
so
I will say if anyone's -2, in my opinion, it's Terry, but that's my opinion.
Like if we have any
I hate that
-2s,
character.
I think it's like Terry, Link, Rob.
You'll never get those words out of me. I think we have a lot. I can compromise on some -1s, and I actually disagreed with a lot of you guys on this maybe even all of them, barring Rob or maybe Terry.
You disagreed on Cloud. You disagreed on Terry.
You disagreed on you agreed on Mario. I knew you.
No, wait. You agreed with Cloud. You agreed with Terry. You agreed with, to a degree, you agreed with Link. To a degree, you agreed with Mario.
Rob, I agreed with, and everyone else I was like even.
Yeah.
And I think there are still developments to be made in those matchups, even though they are losing. But I do want to take this moment while I've got all of the Buzz's delicious viewers in the chat. Look at this matchup spread. This is a valuable, viable character ready to take a hold of the meta. I mean, look at the results. He's definitely got to be good. That mid tier that Dabuz put up top, that's propaganda. Don't buy into.
Wait. No, you're right. Dabuz, can you put low tier?
Yeah, I was gonna do that actually. You're right.
No. That is propaganda. The character, that's honestly, like, he's got a lot of evens. I think that's a big thing about Olimar. He's got a lot of even matchups. But
I mean, he has a lot of matchups that should be losing, but we put him as even.
We have a lot of matchups that are losing that should be even.
Agree
to disagree, Samuel.
Can we all at least agree? When Olimar gets double purple, he just shits on the cast. Can we agree?
Yeah. Plus, like, he has like a lot of even matchups with double purple.
Olimar's DLC that's not DLC.
Yeah.
I think there's more developments to be made of the character, and I think with enough adequate matchup practice, things can get better. But what is it? He definitely this matchup spread's not the worst because some of the characters you find here, like even in the slight losing, outside of like Rob, Pyramithra, they're not common. You don't see a lot of Terry.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of because you don't. I guess you see some Croms, but
I feel like Cloud's not too uncommon.
I'll be
Mario's
honest,
not
like,
uncommon.
I'll be
Honestly,
honest,
the only uncommon character is like me, Sword Fighter. The rest of them are pretty common.
I
Oh,
don't see a
not
lot of
Rose.
Terry.
I'm saying.
Let me put it this way, and I'm probably not the best example for this. I think top level, I don't see a lot of Clouds. And I see Spargo and Cola, right?
That's
Chrom,
more
I
than
don't
most
see
characters
anymore.
at top level.
Chrom, I don't see anymore. Terry is the only one I can think of that's really making waves with Terry is Riddles, if you will. And even then, he goes Kali sometimes. Peach is in a weird spot. Mutis can definitely do it. Mario, you've got Kurama and Dark Wizzy doesn't really go anywhere. Oh, Ling, true.
Yep.
yeah,
Mario should have
nothing.
Dark Wizzy, but I don't know what's going on with him.
Pyramithra and Robert are definitely abundant.
Yeah, and and Wolf. But you don't
okay, let's be real here. If you're going to a major, expect 8 Robs.
Yeah.
Rose is only you.
Yeah.
And you're enhanced, right? You're like, I play Rosa and I play Wolf.
Yeah, I know the
you're double
matches
with me. And then Wolf is definitely like the go-to counterpick character. There's not a lot of mains for Wolf.
Also, thank you so much, Crown, with the 70 months.
Doesn't
let's go. Hey.
play Terry? I don't think he plays Terry primarily Infinite. But yeah, I think this matchup spread, while tough, it's like these are all doable matchups.
It's like we have some relevant good matchups too. Like being, I don't agree with winning. The fact that we do well versus Paolu, do well versus Pokemon Trainer, Pikachu, Snake, like we do well versus a lot of relevant characters.
Yeah. You've got
Game & Watch is pretty relevant. We do well against them.
It's
Game
like we
Watch,
do
Youngling.
against random ass characters. Like a lot of the random ass characters we like do mediocre versus.
You're like, oh, you don't die and you kill me in 3 hits? Ooh, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, DK, right? Or
yeah, but I think this is a matchup spread that definitely speaks to the general viability. Because as much as a pessimist as some people tend to be about the character, Olimar gets good results. You can't deny that.
Yeah, I can't. He has like top 20 results, I think.
He gets top 20 results. I think if you and Shuton committed to solo maining, you would have comparable results. Maybe not in every single matchup. You might get matchup checked more often. But I think seeing Olimar in top 8 is not unheard of. It's actually pretty common.
I mean, I could commit to just playing Olimar Rose instead of constantly trying to have a third character.
Probably help you, yeah. That'd probably be a good play because they're very good with both of them, and they're also unique enough characters to where you can really push the edge. And
all right, but they both lose to Cloud and Aegis.
Boo-hoo, suck it up, outplaying.
But yeah, no, the character's good. No, I agree. It's like
he's got tools, and he's. I feel like he's still getting pushed. We're optimizing certain things. Like we're not doing a lot in every Olimar has their own unique thing, and we could all put that into one juicy.
I feel like there's so much more that can be optimized with Olimar in general.
There is a lot of Olimar players doing different things. He has a lot of playstyles he can play, which is more than most characters.
Yeah,
not only that, some of his tech is not even utilized, and it's like actually pretty decent. Like desync stuff is not really used that much, and I think it's pretty good.
Most Olimars don't use dash attack nearly as much as they could. I just found out Olimar could do up tilt up air as a combo at low percent, and I was
You didn't know that?
I did not know that until recently, and I was
that's
like,
true?
What?
Did you?
Wait, that's true?
What do you mean that's? Oh my lord,
bro!
I'm making a matchup chart where people don't even know how to play their character.
I don't know what to tell you. I thought up tilt up air just was a mix up.
Did you know you can land
50-50?
Did you know you can landing up air up tilt?
Yeah.
No?
Oh my god!
Wait, they can do landing up air, up tilt, up air?
You can landing up air into up air, landing up air into up smash, landing up air into up tilt, depending on the percent of the pick.
I mean, I just do landing there into up tilt.
God, Dabuz!
Wait, something else that's actually really cool. You know neutral air, right?
Wait, how negative on block is landing up air?
I think it's -9 or 8 or something. It could be a little worse.
Oh, it's awful. It's minus 13!
But it's really good at catching because people don't expect you to landing up air because the horizontal hitbox is so big that it pops up. I actually land it quite often.
Okay, that's fair. You can
there's
frame
something I
trap
can
with
also
it.
say with neutral air as well. You see how it says -11? If you land with the 5th hit, which causes it to auto cancel, it's -9 and it true combos into up smash at low percents and up air and back air at mid percents and high percents.
Yes.
And it's a kill.
Yep. I do love Nair into up air, back air.
Combos into like if you land Nair,
Everything.
depending on how you land it, it's like pick a move in your toolkit, you're comboing into it.
Yeah.
Like straight up, if you land with the 5th hit of Nair, it true combos into up smash.
Yeah,
like straight up.
You've also got the nose hitbox, the like rip how it, like drags you over into F smash. In there. There's you got landing there where it auto cancels on that 5th hit into back air up air depending on the DI.
Yep.
Yeah, that move is just filled to the brim. Also, it's great on shield poking, great on.
I love using it out of shield, like out of shield Nair fastball, so good.
That's something that I've been trying to implement more after watching you and Shuton do it a lot at Smash World Tour. But
But yeah, in general, I feel like even like he's good now, and he can only be optimized even more. Like there's so much more that can be learned with this character.
Yeah, he definitely got a lot more, and that's not even the started where attack canceling to swap our lineup. That's like real big boy stuff.
Yeah, the attack canceling stuff is cool, but like so like
It's
hard
hard.
to actually apply.
I think Shuton's ledge trump game is phenomenal. That's something we could also incorporate
I
more.
need to do that more. I want
I
Shuton,
trump
I'm gonna
sometimes,
do
and it
this,
never
and then
works.
I can never do it.
I started trump people, and then they just like DI correctly, and I'm like,
The
well,
thing is, it's you condition them with down tilts and down smash, and you're like, oop, let's jump bear at 70, you're dead.
yeah,
It's the
It
same
does, yeah.
thing. It's the same thing with those like you're pressuring someone and it slips their mind briefly. You throw Pikmin, they're at the ledge at 70, you dash grab, they're dead with down throw right bear.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's the thing with Olimar. It's
Bro,
kind of-
I saw Shuton hit someone with hit Zombo with down throw with purple into back air with purple and died at 70, and I was like, what the like I know like red purple, right? But
Yeah,
just
no,
fucking
you can
purple,
do it.
purple.
I actually did that the other day with a purple on someone because it's the dash grab that puts you closer on top of poor DI on top of Rob is big, and it's like the ultimate combo. I love it.
Yeah, it also matters how many Pikmin you have too, because obviously
yeah. You can actually, I actually true comboed in certain cases. If you have pick latch, you just guarantee down to rubber kill people.
Yeah. It's great in the corner.
A lot of
In general, Olimar's can extend stuff with Pikmin latches more. Like,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Olimar can do so much if there's a launch Pikmin on them because of the
Wow.
extra 2 frames.
what a cool top tier.
Well, man, what a weird mid tier. I know.
I'm glad-
Low tier, bottom 20.
We were able to come to this conclusion. And make
I'm
this tier
so
list.
glad we had this nice discussion with only moderate amount of arguing and disagreement everywhere.
Yeah, we you know.
I
we
feel like
sucked
I
it up a couple
tempered your
times.
over optimistic opinions with my realistic opinions, and we got a good matchup chart.
It was being very
Hey.
nice.
Hey, I was the middle ground. I was the middle ground for some of your arguments.
Next time we do a tier list, it's gonna be me and MFA, also an Olimar enthusiast, versus you, and he's gonna be like winning. I'm like, yes, let's go MFA.
I'm not ready for us to have
I'm
no
not a
losing
pessimist.
matchups.
No, I legitimately do value guys your opinion, but I do think Cyber, even though your playstyle may tend to be more in the middle, I think you are very similar in terms of weakness with the buzz and what you tend to struggle with. Because if you told
that's fair.
MFA that he's like, I lose to Wolf, he'd be like, what are you talking about? Right? It's like, I lose. He's like, no, we don't. You just hit him. You know, and that's something I agree with as an Olimar, but it's like, that's that playstyle difference that we tend to struggle with. And that doesn't mean, you know, even the fact that we had that argument, there were arguments for it can be even. You can deal with it. There's proof that shows you can beat it. So it's like, it's not one way or another. And I'm not too pressed about it, even though I don't agree with every little placement. It's like the character can win. All these matchups are definitely doable. Rob is a little bit less doable.
Yeah. Let's Christopher Rob is like, man.
But
Rob might need a -2 category. I'm sorry.
I'm steadily working away in my lab to
You
crack
have the
that
Myran
code.
lab right there. He has like
The Myran zone
potions and
wasn't formed
concoctions
today.
simmering.
It takes time
Robert.
to innovate. Yes.
Oh,
I'll be
Rob-
damned if I'm defeated by myself, but solid stuff. Yeah, if you, I'm sure you'll post this on Twitter or whatever. So I can
Yep.
retweet.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Actually.
Alrighty, guys, if this is good, I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna probably hop out of the call and go use the bathroom.
Are you
yeah,
gonna
thank you
keep
for
streaming?
having us.
We'll have to
Myron,
do
are
something
you gonna
again
keep streaming?
sometime. Yeah, I'm gonna keep streaming. Yeah.
All right, bro. Then.
Sick.
Yep. You know what's
I
happening.
will talk to you guys later, dude. Have a good one.
Yep. You too, bro. Peace.
See ya.
All right, everyone. And I'm gonna call stream for tonight now. This is enough talking about Smash, so I'll catch y'all. Probably not tomorrow. Probably not gonna stream tomorrow because I think I'm going out to my friend's place. But yeah, everyone, have a good night. Hope you all enjoyed this look into the Olimar grind set. I don't know how we got a matchup that looks so good. This character's bottom tier, but anyway, that's not the point.